What's going on, PTG fam? Thank you guys so much for tuning in the show. As always, we have another banger for you guys. But first, we got to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors are everything. They are so massive and such a big contribution to everything we do. This episode is brought to you by G2 Paintball. G2 Paintball is a paintball athletics company that is designed to make you a better paintball athlete. They have a lot of programs going on out in Arizona that are absolutely amazing, incredibly affordable, and highly informative. It's a full clinic. It teaches you how to be a better paintball athlete, how to process the game, dissect different situations. I can't say enough good things about G2 Paintball. They come out to the Paintball Combine. They are the standard as far as fitness testing and things like that. If you want to be a good paintball player, you need to be a good paintball athlete first and foremost. So you have to check them out. G2paintball.com. That is the letter G, the number 2, paintball.com. Check them out. See if you could get to one of the events, and I hope to see you there. This episode is also brought to you by Heal Brand CBD. Heal Brand is the most amazing CBD company that I have ever worked with. I can't say enough good things about them either. They use this nanotechnology that's fantastic. Essentially, this nanotechnology is a micronized formula that is designed to break through the cellular wall. So you need less of each dose, and it hits you much faster. So way more effective, way more efficient. Really helps with my sleep. I love getting good sleep, and when I take this stuff, I get amazing sleep. I take about 30-40 milligrams a night, and my goodness, I sleep amazing. I fall asleep easily. I stay asleep. I wake up feeling extremely refreshed, and I'm ready to go. They also have a really good amp formula. This little, it's in the size of a 5-hour energy bottle, and it is a daytime formula. Has a ton of B vitamins, all sorts of natural stuff with a little bit of hemp formula. They also have a knockout formula, which is, my goodness, my favorite stuff to travel with. I won't travel without it. Literally, I swear to you, I will not, because you take a couple sips of this, you drink this little shot drink, and you are in cloud 9. It's amazing. It has a valerian root, tryptophan, a bunch of natural herbs, and obviously the nanotechnology, the nano hemp CBD. And it's amazing. It's great stuff. Heal Brand. The owners are awesome. They're just a great company. You guys could check out healbrand.com, HEAL brand.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout. You get 10% off on all products. Message us if you have any questions too. We're happy to help, happy to inform you guys. This episode is also brought to you by Transfuse. My goodness, Transfuse. Everybody knows about Transfuse. Transfuse is the best electrolyte drink you can get on the market. It has all sorts of great vitamins, great electrolytes. It has amazing brain-boosting components, immune system dominators. This stuff's amazing. We love Transfuse. Again, you guys hear us do ad after ad, show after show. It's because we love it. We really do. And people that are enjoying it are loving it as well. People that are subscribing, using code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, they're getting a great discount, and they are loving the benefits that they are reaping because of this stuff. Makes you feel so good. Truly, I drink at least 1 packet a day, sometimes 2. Over 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C, great for the immune system. 50 milligrams of zinc, awesome for the immune system. Vitamin B, choline, great for cellular regeneration, great for just overall body function, health, all that stuff. Magnesium, potassium, sodium, major electrolytes that you find in like Gatorades and Pedialyte, stuff like that, but not a lot of sugar. 4 grams of stevia. It's not even processed sugar. It's amazing. Truly an amazing formula. This stuff is also micronized, so it's broken down to a molecular level that is really easy for the body to absorb, very biodegradable. You guys can use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout and get 10% off. But first, you got to go to translabs.com. It's TRANZLABS.com. And use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout. You get 10% off. If you guys do subscribe, and what that means, if you subscribe, you basically sign on for an auto ship. So if you want 1 box a month, they will automatically ship you your stuff every month. You never have to deal with it. Never have to deal with the hassle, and you get a much bigger discount. You get an extra 11% off, so 21% off total. The box becomes incredibly affordable. It's like a couple bucks a day at most for a packet. And look, we all spend money each day on stuff that we probably don't need. This stuff is good for your health. It's good for how you're going to feel. It's amazing. Transfuse, baby. Transfuse. Get after it. All right, everybody. With that said, this show was so incredibly amazing. My goodness, we had Corey Hall from Los Angeles Ironmen. They just won the most recent Las Vegas Open. Tons of great stuff to talk to Corey about. He was awesome. He's fantastic. He's worked his way up the hard way, and we are so excited for you to hear. So, without further ado, we're going to hop in the show. All right, see you there.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Big C, Corey Hall, 33, my guy, our dude, the Las Vegas Open champion, so far the 2020 season champions, undefeated in the year. What's happening, brother?
Let's go.
How's
Corey.
it going, guys? How's it going, man? Glad to be here.
Heck yeah,
Hold
dude.
up. When we said undefeated, we're only talking about paintball, obviously, because I just beat you on the golf course about
you
a couple
did.
weeks ago.
You did. I'll give it to you. I mean, you posted so everybody saw it. I can't even lie or hide it or anything. It's out there.
Dude,
you even asked me. You're like, I'm gonna post this, right? I'm like, all right, do it. Just get it over with.
I don't know how I got so lucky. I had 2 really good days in a row, and then I've gone back to being terrible since.
That's how golf is, though.
I was like, we were trying to decide if we were gonna have you on the show now or like next week. I was like, dude, I got to get him on before I play golf again because
I need a redemption.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you're way better than me, man. It was just one of those days. I got kind of lucky. I was hitting well, but it's been
like
awesome.
Paintball. Sometimes better be lucky than good.
Yeah, but actually, it's like paintball for new players like yourself and Elevation. We're going to get into that, actually, because I don't mean it by any disrespect, and I relate it to my golf game, and it was the same with like basketball. The first staple of a player becoming good at something is they'll have like a really good day, right? But they won't do that consistently. And then the top level players in anything, they can do it consistently. Their bad days are better than most people's good days, right? And then they have some days that are just spectacular. So it's only a sign that you're going to be good. And it was similar with you on Elevation. You had like 1 or 2 good events or matches even in an event, and it's just a sign that, okay, once it really starts clicking and more information starts coming in, this player is going to be really top notch if they stay the course. But dude, it's been awesome playing golf with you, having fun, having a good time, having the battles for 33. Clearly I am in the lead for that, but
for now.
Yeah, he was like, we got to get Corey on immediately before he beats me in golf. He's
got to hold this over me. He can't use Vegas, so he's got to use golf over me.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I got nothing in Vegas, dude. You guys were the kings there.
Yeah.
You're the kings. And in my opinion, you had an amazing event. In many people's opinions, I'm sure they think that you were a dominant force over on that Dorito side. In that finals match, you had a massive point, some major moves when you guys were down bodies. I think it's mostly because you used Transfuse. That's probably the biggest reason you were able to make those moves. You were electrolyted up. Your brain was functioning, powering on all cylinders. You were Transfuse dominant. You were just able to make decisions and see things faster than anybody else.
More than that, I was transcended. With that new formula they're coming out with. I got the pre-form. Oof, that stuff was honestly no joke.
I was gonna say, yes, Transfuse is coming out with some really awesome stuff in the near future. What a great company.
Be on the lookout.
Very much so. Very much so.
But what's up, man? What you been up to?
Not much, surviving, working. Kind of doing the same thing I was, but I kind of got lucky before all this craziness happened, right? So I was just in customer support before, but I worked for a healthcare agency for traveling. It's a traveling placement agency. So as you can imagine, with all the craziness, we got kind of busy. But as anybody else did, everybody hit the panic button, and it got kind of crazy before it needed to. I was lucky enough. I actually transitioned to a new role. I'm a boring job in billing now, but I got out right before, like a week before COVID and everything happened. And so they got ravaged, man, like absolutely just destroyed, of people just freaking out, just losing it, thinking they got COVID, don't have it, whatever the case was. And because it was the very beginning. And I got lucky with that, because now I'm in billing. I'm not on the phones. I bill the hospitals.
You're like, send me the money.
I don't have to deal with kind of everybody freaking out and all the commotion, luckily. But yeah,
how
man.
how has everything been in like your area through? I know 2020 has been pretty crazy. Has it been okay out there?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's specifically like Mira Mesa is where I live in San Diego. Everybody's very good about wearing their masks, whether it's in the gas station, in the restaurants, walking
Yeah.
around even, because it's very active where I live with people walking their dogs or just working out. And you'll see people with their masks on. If they're just by themselves, they'll have it off. But if they're coming near somebody, they'll pull their mask up or whatever the case is. So everybody's super safe, which is good. You go other places and not so much. You go to the beach right now and it's like, people forgot
Lawless.
about it. Oh yeah, it's like
But I mean,
there's nothing going on out there, just working on my tan.
Yeah, but you're outdoors, and science has shown that UV ray lights can kill the virus, and not to the fullest. And that's not a if you're outside, you're not 100% safe. But I don't know, like wearing your mask at the beach on the sand, if it's incredibly crowded, I guess I understand that. But
Right.
I'm going and seeing wide open sands and people are in their mask, and I don't know how I feel about it. Again,
Right.
I guess it's no harm off my back. If you want to wear it, that's even better. I just I'm not a fan of the people that are screaming at other people and hating other people because they
Right.
might not be in that situation wearing it.
Yeah.
We're in crazy
It's,
times, dude. It's very
Exactly.
yeah, we're in
Exactly.
crazy
For
times.
me, wear it if you want to wear it. If you don't want to wear it, then don't be near people because you don't want to wear it.
Yeah.
Take care of other people around you if you don't want to do yourself.
That's right. Yeah,
Simple.
it's just looking out for others when we can and being as safe as we possibly can. That's the best thing that we can do.
Exactly.
And 2020 has been wild. You guys came out hot in Vegas and won
Hot.
that. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And kind of talk to us a little bit about that experience. How was that?
Honestly, to put in words would be hard, man. It's something that I've strived for a long time, right? My paintball journey's been pretty long alone to
And
reach
that was your
pro.
first. That was
That
the
was my first win.
Yeah.
You know what's even crazier? That
Uh-huh.
is my second national win ever.
Beautiful.
So my first national win ever was D3 World Cup with Velocity Wrecking Crew
Dude, there we go.
decked out in
Shout
red
out to
dye gear.
Wrecking Crew, baby. Shout out to Wrecking Crew. That was the squad from Velocity Paintball. They were all the youngsters.
And we always practiced against Ironmen back in the day, and so literally, and I think that was the same year that Ironman won their last event. And fast forward 10 years later, MAO, and I had won Cup at the end of the year, and so 10 years later, my second national events with Ironman and red dye gear. So it's kind of crazy, man. It's crazy. It's been a different journey. It's not one that I thought was going to go the way it did. I've kind of told people this a few times. Like, I moved out to California thinking I was going to jump on a team as soon as I got out here. Like, I was going to. I also thought it was going to be different moving out here. Like, I thought all of Dynasty was going to be out there every weekend. I thought Ironman was going to be out there every weekend. I thought a bunch of people, and I went out. Man, and it was crickets. It was me on a field by not even bunkers blown up, well before Fran and Nikki took over and everything like that, just an empty field.
That's right.
Well,
I remember
you
those
realize
days.
the travel with some of these teams, like I know on Dynasty, the guys that are local in San Diego is mostly myself and Ryan. So when we're not practicing for an event, we're either traveling to compete in other leagues or we're teaching. So there's a lot of open weekends at our home fields, that we're not there. And that wasn't always the case back in the day. I think players are traveling now more than ever to compete in different leagues, whether it's going down to even just so close as Mexico or going overseas to Europe or, Canadian leagues, whatever it is. Players are traveling more. Players are also teaching more. So weekends at home are far and few between, they really are. They really, really are.
Well, and I think I had an unrealistic view of what it was going to be coming out here.
You were imagining like 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago.
Exactly.
When you were at the field every weekend.
Yeah. And I thought that was what it was going to be. So I thought I was going to come out and, get recognized and just be at the field every weekend and rub elbows and talk and boom. And, lived here for 3 years after that.
Big
and
grind.
It ended up being Elevation that I go pro with. I moved out here to try to go pro with, Ironman or Dynasty, and 3 years later go pro with Elevation, which was not at all what I, the journey that I thought it was going to be, but how it kind of went. Yeah.
I thought you
so
were on Elevation.
That's the whole reason I moved to California.
Oh, wow.
Is to come out and try to play pro paintball.
That's
Oh
amazing. I love
shit.
that.
Yeah, dude.
Okay,
That's
so in that case, we need to get the grassroots on you.
yeah.
I need to hear how this all started for you. Kind of give me the scoop on how you first got introduced to paintball and your first paintball experiences, and we'll start to go
Yeah.
down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I can't
I
believe, real quick, I just can't believe we actually have an Ironman logo up on our screen behind Tyler.
showing
This
love.
is, look,
Yes.
listen to all the listeners. You gotta, you know the drill, you know the rules. Go
Dude,
to
it's all
YouTube,
love
you'll
for
see it.
paintball.
But this
Yeah.
this shows that it's all over. But we got a damn,
Yeah.
I don't know. We should have vetoed that. Damn it, no. I got a lot of
Well, I
love
put
for
an
Iron Man
impact
too,
one up
obviously.
for
I
Nick
know.
Laval. You know
True.
what I'm saying?
Honestly, if you didn't put an
Yeah.
Iron Man one up, I would have
Yeah.
said something. I'd been like,
You
hey,
know what
come
I'm
on
saying?
now.
It's all love for the people. This is all about
Exactly.
paintball, and we're here to get the scoop on everything and just share that with the world, for the world of paintball. That's what this is all about.
Yep.
I love
It's
you.
about the
Ty-
game.
Ty's the best.
That's
Yeah,
it,
it's
dude.
about
Play the game. Let's go.
Yeah,
Hell
man.
yeah.
But
All right, so your grassroots. Let's hear how you got started in this crazy game and how you have become so successful.
yeah, so mine was either when I was 14 or 15. I mean, like everybody else, I went to a birthday party.
Hey, the old
You know,
birthday
exactly.
party.
You
Hey,
get
hold on. Not like everybody else. I did not go to a birthday
Not
party.
me either. I
Yep,
started at the
and neither
slaughterhouse,
Tyler.
baby.
Yep. so
All
look,
right. I
like
didn't
all
have
the
a
other
slaughterhouse,
losers.
Okay. Yeah. Like all the rest of us who didn't grow up in
Yeah.
California or have some
Yeah.
legends to look up to that in our area. I
Yeah.
started out at a birthday
No,
party playing a rec
but
ball.
that's how it goes, and we love
You
it
know?
because it's so organic. Like that is traditionally how it goes. Like the birthday
Yeah.
party, and then you're like, holy shit, this is really fun. I
Yeah,
want to keep doing this.
I started with the rental gun, and it was
Yeah.
funny because I started with the rental gun, but I also thought I had to have the good paint, right? So
Ah.
I spent $60
Oh.
my first time going out. I spent
Just smashed it.
$60 on Ultra Evil.
I think that's more important, though. I think it's better to have good paint than a good gun, almost.
But he
Do
smashed it.
Do you think a rental tipman can shoot Ultra Evil when
It
when you
should.
got kids sitting there in the pallet field? No, I
Yeah.
kid you not. At the pallet field one day, I watched a kid take a rental tipman and just poof, bust a hole through one of the pallets and just start
Oh my
just
God.
shooting through the pallet that he just broke a hole with
What
the
field
end of the
was
barrel.
this at?
Breakout way back in Arizona. It's not open
Dude.
anymore. It's just out in the middle of nowhere. But it was the fun. Like that alone, I was just like, is this normal? Like, does this happen in paintball normally?
Oh my
But
God.
it was-
Hey,
it was-
shout out to my AZ family. You
Yep.
grew up out here. I'm in Arizona
Yep,
now,
yep.
so
Yep.
we got that.
I don't know why
kinfolk
you
going.
did that, but that's a whole
Yeah.
other conversation.
Well, there are certain reasons that it is like for my paintball career.
Oh, it's well worth it. It's
Yeah.
it's well worth it. There's definitely different
The-
variables from
the heat-
moving there, but
The heat is something else. That's crazy.
it's a
Yeah.
different beast. You can't
But
prepare
it's-
for that.
Can't do
It's
it.
good to train. Like it's like Dragon Ball Z style when you go into the the mega dome trainer and like you just get supercharged off that heat. It's crazy. Whenever you go anywhere else, you're like, oh, what is this?
Oh, it's not bad. People complain. You're just
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah.
But now
nah.
I'm spoiled.
Yeah.
Now I can't handle it. Now I'm spoiled
how-
out here in California, and it's
How funny is that? I don't know if I was talking to you about this, Corey, or maybe CC, but it's so true. Maddie Marshall sent me this little thing from Instagram about golfers. It's like, oh, what do you think went wrong today? Well, it was like 79 degrees. I play best at 72.5. Like it was just a little too warm.
Yep. That's you.
Like that, oh, for sure it is. I'm not
100% you.
I'm not good enough to be able to maneuver around the elements. I need everything to be perfect for me to have a semi-decent day. So I need
Dude,
to like
golf's the
a cool
best.
breeze. It's the best.
Yeah.
We all need to play. I can't wait.
I know.
Yeah,
it's-
we'll get it done.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've been
absolutely.
thinking, I'm so obsessive, but I'm obsessed over balance so that I can balance my obsessions. That's a little thing that I came up with, but it's so valid, right? Like I truly am incredibly obsessive about whatever it is, but you got to balance it in some way. So I'm so glad we have World Cup coming. Oh, we're going to get into all this. I'm so sorry. We went off on tangent. Let's get back into your story. When you went out to the field, birthday party, like all the other people.
Except you guys, because you're cool and everything.
Yeah.
But so I'm at the birthday party and at Breakout, and it was just fun, man. I didn't even have like I can't say I had the best time, right? Because I was blowing up my Ultra Evil
Oh my God.
out of my Titman rental and everything like that. And I remember, on top of it, I remember shooting that they put like 3 speedballers. And mind you, at the time, I thought these guys were like amazing.
Oh, for sure.
But like,
Anybody who has like a branded jersey when they guard
jersey,
it.
exactly. Like I'm in like my
Electronic
camo
gun.
pants, and my hoodie. You know, they got the mask, they're matching gear. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
put like 3 on like 10. Right. And I remember the dude gets to the 50 and I'm in the back center because I didn't go anywhere for like the first 3 years I played paintball. I'm in the back center and I watched one hit his hopper and he tucks it and I'm losing it because I'm like, I just shot this dude. He's amazing. I just shot
get him out.
losing it. We end up losing. They shoot me and I come off and I was like, I shot you. And he's like, oh yeah, but I don't get out on hopper hits. I got rid of it. I'm like,
Whoa.
what? Is this a thing? Are you allowed to do that? Like I was losing. I didn't know cheating was a thing. I didn't know you could get rid of hits.
Oh,
and so that was like my first experience. Some kid either busting a hole through a pallet or a speedball dude cheating me the first time I shot somebody, pretty much.
Dude. Yeah, you learn quick.
I'm like, oh, that's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, honestly, it kind of built from there.
You in deciding you were gonna cheat. Yeah, it was, right?
Oh, that's what's no, definitely not.
No, he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
No, you so far, and this is a big deal. This is something we talk about a lot when new players come on the scene. Like if they, well, I guess, sorry, Ty, we don't talk about it on the show a lot, but it's definitely conversation amongst veterans. Is that player a clean player? Because that makes a big difference, right? And you've always checked off that list. Nobody in the league, I don't think, thinks that you're a dirty player. Which
And
is
Lord
huge,
knows you've slid off a couple. Come on, let's be real.
I mean, if the opportunity's there and it just so happens to, in the rep,
Look, here's how I look at that. I will never in my life. I will never in my life wipe a hit.
That's right.
No, never. I never will. Never will.
I'll find a video right now.
I'll give you $100 if you find a video.
Dude, find it.
I'll give you $100. This
All right,
is
challenge accepted.
live on PTG. I will give you $100 if you find a video of me wiping. Not gonna happen. You know what?
I gotta hit a mouse.
Hold on.
Mouse has it analogued.
Yeah, all Mouse's videos are gonna be of Mouse. No, so listen, I swear I put this on everything. It's so funny. When I was 12 years old playing divisional paintball, we had a local regional. We had a regional event in Las Vegas, and we were playing the tournament, 5-man rookie division. 12 years old, I get shot in the goggles and I wipe it. And we were called Die Kids at the time. We had a little die sponsorship. I had known Dave Youngblood. His son was on the team as well, on and off. And after the game, this guy comes up to me and he has a video camera. He said, I saw you cheat. You wiped that face hit. I'm sending this in to die. Your paintball career is over. You're a piece of shit. He went off on me. I'm 12 years old. I have never been so traumatized and so petrified for that day. My heart sunk. I said, why did I make such a bad decision? My career is over. I'm never going to turn pro. I'm never going to make it anywhere. I made the biggest mistake of my life. It's on film. This is going to go everywhere. It's going to go all over PB Nation. This is when PB Nation was huge. I was so scared.
Not PB Nation.
I was
like
so
your political
scared.
Career when you're 12, you cheated.
Yes,
now when you try to go pro.
Yes, I was so scared and so petrified. I think that left me like a little bit with some PTSD. I don't know. I don't cheat. If I get shot, I immediately get up. However, yes, if you're making a move and you get shot and you're in the slide and it's not really intentional, but then you come up and you say, hey, ref, check me. You know you're hit, right? But the ref doesn't find it. The ref doesn't find it and he lets you play. Okay, that's the gray area that I'm okay with.
I mean, is that cheating?
It's like the friendly version.
Yeah, I don't put it in the same.
I agree because it's the same thing. Comparison like NFL. There's a flag on every play and holding if it's seen or if it's part of the play.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was actually just gonna say that.
It's in basketball too. Kobe has outright come out and said, "I know where the ref stands, so I know when I can hold, when I can do this."
Yeah.
That's a different story. To me, cheating in paintball is wiping a hit. That's dishonorable in my opinion.
Dude,
when you actually wipe a hit. Yeah, that's grimy. That's dishonorable, and it's really shitty. I think that's super lame. But if you're playing the area where you're putting it on the ref and the ref doesn't call it, okay. Yeah. To me, that's fair game, And I'm always honest with the refs, there's so many times where there's been times where I get hit and they're like, oh, I call myself out and I didn't even see that. I'm like, yeah, no, that's a real hit. I know it broke. It was this and that. And, so there's a balance there, but
for sure. And they appreciate that so much. Like
Yeah,
when
for sure,
when you do that kind of stuff and you call yourself out and a ref sees that, wow, look at this player, like, making my job easy.
Mhm.
He's got so much love for you at that point, and
Yes,
you
yes.
don't want to be the guy that's gritting and griming and slipping and sliming and wiping
Right.
everything,
Well,
like
and that
you
next instance that a ref looks at you and he thinks,
oh yeah.
"Did you just do something?" It's
Yeah.
gonna go one way or the other. It's gonna be like, "Nah, he doesn't
Yeah.
do that," or "Yeah, he did that
Yeah.
last point. He probably tried to do something."
Yeah. And then they're
Exactly.
gonna let you have it,
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're
Then you
not
got
gonna
it.
get the benefit of the doubt. That's right.
Mhm.
Dude, so
Mhm.
after the birthday, some
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
punching through the bunker to shoot you, and then like guy wiping a loader hit, you're like, oh
yeah,
my God, this is amazing. People are lawless. I love this. It's fun.
yeah, man.
So how did it start to tumble after that?
Yeah, I honestly think I fell in love with it instantly too because I always played like guns and cops and
Yeah.
robbers and stuff
Oh,
growing
me
up. So
too.
like playing guns, I was always
Yeah.
about it. And I was always competitive playing sports growing up. So now you put paintball in front of
Yes.
me where I can shoot somebody. Like I can actually play guns and shoot somebody.
Yeah.
And so I was just drawn to it. And so instantly it was funny. Before I started working at a Field 23 BPS, and we'll kind of get to that. Before I started working there,
hmm
I didn't really have a job or anything. I was working at my junior high cafeteria was my
Nice.
first tech job technically. So I could pay $50 a month for my Cricket wireless phone so I could have a cell phone.
Dude, good for you. I love that.
Yeah, so I could play paintball though, because literally I made enough money to pay my phone bill, and that was it.
Yeah.
And so I could play paintball. Is my parents gave me money for lunch
Nice.
every week, and I
Yeah.
think it's like $35, and
hmm
so lunch was like $7 a day. Essentially, you could get whatever. Or
You
if
Yeah.
you
can starve
didn't get the
yourself.
kids that didn't have lunch money, got a free peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
That's right.
and I
Yeah.
love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
No
Yeah.
way, dude.
So I just
Good.
crushed peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day.
Yes.
And
I
so I would
love it.
save my lunch money, and I could buy a case of paint with my lunch
Yeah.
money
So
whenever
Do
I
you
would
you
hear
go
that?
out.
so you
Listen to
lied
that.
to your parents. You lied to your parents that you
No, he
needed
didn't
lunch
I
lie.
lied
money.
about nothing. They said, "Did you eat lunch today?" And I said, "Yes, of course I
Yeah,
ate
it was
lunch today.
delicious.
It was great." And then I went to recess. I'm like,
Dude,
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that actually, Corey. That's an amazing story. Look, like
Yeah.
kids, find a way. This is
Yeah.
the theme, Corey. I don't know
Play
if
the
you've listened
game.
to I don't know if you've listened to any of our shows, but like that's so the theme is
hmm
find a way, dude. Find a way to make it work. Whatever it is you're trying to do, just find a way.
yeah,
The successful people, they find a way. They
yeah,
and it's usually does trail back to day one where they're hustling their parents for lunch money, so they get free peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at school.
yep.
But like that's okay, so that's tight. So you were saving a little bit of dough each week.
Yeah, that was essentially how I played until I got my actual first job after that, which was McDonald's. And
And
then pretty
how
much
how
everything from McDonald's went towards paintball and my
how
car.
Really?
how old were you when you first played again?
14 is when I
Okay.
first
Okay.
played ever.
Okay.
15 is when I started getting into like speedball.
Okay.
I was working at McDonald's. I met a buddy who played, and we kind of joined up, and that was my first team ever. It's actually my name on PB Nation to this day is Team Fate Kid. Team Fate was the
Yeah.
first team I
What's
ever played on Young Guns.
Dude, that's
what's
awesome.
your favorite meal at McDonald's?
Travis
Hot,
Scott meal.
hot and spicy chicken. Hot and spicy chicken all day, every day. And they
They
discontinued it.
have that? Oh, they
They
No,
did.
they don't.
Yeah.
discontinued it. So they're renewing in some places. So yeah, I work with a guy who his parents own like 5 or 6.
Oh
And
wow.
so literally every single day I'm in this dude's ear, like, tell your dad they need to
Yeah.
bring back hot and spices. And
Yeah. What's
so
he?
now he emailed me like a week ago and was like, hey, they're not here yet, but my dad confirmed they're coming back. I'm like, they
No
listen.
way.
Dude.
Oh,
They
that's
listen.
funny.
Dude,
That's-
you're a godsend for the people that love
I got
McDonald's, dude.
I
They're
got to
gonna be
speak
like,
up. I got a voice.
yeah, but hey guys, we can't be promoting McDonald's. That's terrible for you. Stop eating
It
that
is,
shit. It's
dude.
not
It
good.
is.
Don't do it. We don't support that. We don't
Come on, you
promote
work out,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, listen.
Chicken's
There's
healthy,
no,
protein.
no. Listen. This is a big misunderstanding. There's a lot of people that look like they are in incredibly great shape. They have high metabolisms. They can eat whatever they want. They eat a lot of fast food, but all of their actual health levels, their triglycerides, their mind, their brain, not good. No,
Mhm.
you do not want to be eating that kind of food. We need to have a whole episode based on that actually, because the way
You're
your
not
body
wrong.
looks,
Yeah.
the way your body looks physically is not even close to an actual representation of how healthy you are.
On the
And that is
inside.
a very important thing. Some people are gifted and they can burn calories. So So yes, they might look fit, but their triglycerides, their LDLs, their fat levels are incredibly high. They have a lot of cholesterol. Their blood pressure is high. They're unhealthy, even though they look like they're in great shape. And
No.
so
Yeah, that
yeah.
stuff does damage. You
Look,
can't even tell.
food is
Yeah.
so important. Sorry though. Sorry.
Remind me to not answer a fast food question to you next
Yeah.
time.
Trust
Dude,
me, I see your little bagel mornings at Donut Stop or
Oh,
whatever.
so donut touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Donut
so
Touch.
good.
Yeah.
I go there 3 or 4 times a week.
Bro,
Fill my
there we
rant.
go.
3 or 4 times a week. They don't know me
You
yet.
better.
I go in and they're like,
They don't
"What
know
do you
you?
want?" And I'm like, "Oh, same thing, coffee, bagel." And they're like, "Okay." They'll turn around. "What did you want in your bagel?" I'm like,
Yeah,
3
I'm the
times
guy
this
that,
week.
yeah.
3
That
times.
means
I wear the same
that
mask.
means, dude, you're not friendly enough then, man. You gotta open up. All my people know me.
I'm the friendliest one there. I'm the only one that talks.
You are.
Dude, yeah, you might have to drop the mask and be like, "Yo, it's me." You know what I mean?
Or I'm just gonna wear something super unique, or just walk in
Yeah.
a Speedo. You can't forget a guy in a Speedo.
Pull a Cam Newton.
Dude,
Show up in the Cam Newton. It's
Yeah,
there
exactly,
we
with the
go.
hat and everything.
Dude, I love
Yeah,
it.
but I
So
mean, yeah.
you're crushing it at McDonald's, hustling, grinding, and
Yeah.
this is when you're in Arizona, right?
Yeah, still in Arizona. So this was when I was 15. I'm in Arizona for another 10 years after this, but
Yeah.
grinding in McDonald's, and yeah, man, literally every single paycheck I had pretty much went to playing and buying a gun, actually, because I didn't have my own gun, so it went
Oh wow.
towards buying a gun. I remember I got scammed off of eBay, I think, for like a Timmy. And it
No.
crushed me. I almost didn't play after that. Crushed me. I was so stoked on it, and
What
then it never
happened?
came in. And
What happened? You paid?
I just got scammed. I sent early. I was new to paintball, didn't know the whole ordeal, and sent money and just never got it.
Oh no.
And so after that, didn't play for a while and saved up. I ended up getting a PM6
Yeah.
from APD out in Arizona. And man, from there is like I would play once every month, once every 2 months, whenever I had money and whenever we could get our Young Guns team together.
Mhm.
And it just kind of started from there. And what kind of helped me is we didn't necessarily like out here how people have you guys, even if it's just
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 of you out at the field, they have pros, and you guys have been pro for a while. They have this here to look up to, like John Krasawa, one of my good buddies. He had been playing paintball for 2 or 3 years before he went pro, and he said a big factor of that is he met up with Cody Mikowski at his local field, and Cody took him under his wing, and just having that paintball IQ, that drive, that skill around you and molding you will
Yeah.
help you go faster, right? For me, I had NXE, which was the elevation guys. I had
That's right.
Howe and Bosch and Augie and all of them, and that's essentially who I looked up to and who I kind of wanted to be in that plateau or that level that I wanted to get to.
Mhm.
And so I did. It took me from there. I think I played my first event with Elevation in 2010. It was the second Phoenix event. And
Mhm.
man, I wish that we kept playing at Phoenix. All you got to deal with is the heat, but that was it.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the event. Every year I love that event.
I know.
But that was the first event I actually played with Elevation, and that was semi-pro. And before that, I had only played D3, and that was literally right before I played semi-pro with Elevation for Phoenix was World Cup with Wrecking Crew when we won.
There we
And then
go.
Elevation had picked me up shortly after that. And for me, it was kind of like if I were to get the call from you guys or something, right? Like Brian Bosch called me. It was like, "Hey man, like just wanted to hit you up. You've been playing really well. The guys have been talking, and we want to bring you on for next season. Here's the deal." Da 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 da. And I was like, like mind blown. Like, holy crap, really? Like, I'd always been on like the feeder team or playing against him, and so they asked me to play, and I was like, man, that's yeah.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
here's one thing that I do remember, and this was like kind of, I think I was on Ironman at the time. I'm pretty positive when you first came to San Diego, you started making a name for yourself out at Camp Pendleton. You're always out at the field, and I remember like Brandon Cornell. I feel like you were in that same group. You guys were always out there working.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Like you
Yeah.
guys were always there.
That's my one-on-one guy
Yeah,
right there.
yeah, you guys were always working, and so, it's funny, like, maybe you felt that you didn't get noticed by Dynasty or the other teams, but there's a very good chance that, no, we had mentioned your name, and that trickled back down to some of the other guys, maybe Elevation, like, "Oh, top level teams are noticing him, he's out there working all the time," you know what I mean? And then,
Mhm.
you're the
It's a
first one to
small
call.
circle,
It's a small
Right.
circle, yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. Small
Yeah.
world in
Dude,
paintball.
we've seen you. I just remember, always trying to boost you. Even when you would come out to CP and just gritting and grinding, and I would see you make good moves, I was like, there we go, Corey. Like I just always knew that you had that gear to get the job done, and you have the passion and the drive, to work really hard, which is what you need. You really care about the game, and that's why you've been able to attain some of success, and you guys killed it in Vegas. And it's because you guys have been working your asses off to get to those moments.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good point. Like the drive and just the want and the will to do it. And like Marcelo said, maybe I did get, noticed at the beginning, but wasn't at the caliber that I needed to be. Maybe I thought I was there, but I wasn't, obviously. And that showed, honestly, for me, and I've talked about it before, that's a huge driving factor for me, not getting picked up, right? And then me, I mean, it's a story, right? Trying out for Ironman and not getting picked up when I tried out for Ironman. That could have been like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to play pro. I can't play pro. I'm not good enough. Or it could be that pushing factor to be like, okay, you weren't good enough. Here's the things that you need to work on and focus on, and let's get back to the drawing board and see what we can do with it. And so
Totally.
that definitely helped me. That was huge on just, and it honestly, it hurt me for a little bit when I didn't get picked up, because I honestly mentally I thought I was in a place where I was like, I am good enough to play. I should be out there. And then you don't get picked up, and it's kind of like a mental thing after that. Like, what, yeah, can I get to that point? If I already thought I was at that point, am I able to get to that next level, or am I to where I am and that's just where I'm going to be? So that was definitely a mental thing to kind of push past. But yeah.
Well, what means the most to any organization, whether you make it or not, is that driving force inside of you. And the fact that you didn't make it and you were persistent and you never gave up on yourself and you worked harder, that screams so loud to an organization. And it's only a matter of time before something good is going to come of that. As long as you never give up on yourself and you follow your heart and you show that you're headed in a direction, and you better watch out because I'm going this way. So you know what I mean? Like, either get with it or get run over by it is kind of the mentality. And you stick with it, and then you're going to have good things come from that.
Yeah, agreed. And I even said, like, my journey wasn't what I thought it was going to be, right? Like, I've been out in California for 5 years now. I've been pro for 3. Was not at all what I thought it was going to be, or what, like, I had planned or what I had envisioned. But to where I am at now, and how kind of the chips of later, the cards have been dealt, I can't complain about it. And everything happens for a reason, and maybe it was the what was needed and the driving factor of what's gotten to me where I am.
Hell yeah, I guarantee it, bud. Guarantee it. And you're having fun with it. That's the other thing. Like, if when people get so caught up in, like, it's this whole ego thing, right? It's like this ego thing, and they're trying to feed it, and then they get let down. They're doing it for the wrong reasons. But when you move out of your head and you move into your heart, and you're doing it because it makes you happy and it's what you are, it's what, like it's like an artist, it's like an artist has to paint. We're kind of in the same regard. We're painters in a different way, but like, we have this art form that we have to do. And it's no different than a basketball, football, soccer. It's all these different arts that really, I've played all different sports, but this fulfills me more than anything in the world when I'm out there and we're clicked up and everybody's playing good ball, and you got that energy. Is nothing that matches that.
Yeah. There's nothing like it. I've done the same thing. Like, I've played sports ever since I was like 4 or 5 years old, and paintball has pretty much pulled me away from those.
Me
just
too.
Because there's nothing like paintball. Like, paintball brings so many different aspects of different sports into it, and just like, you can't beat it. You can't beat it at all.
You can't, dude. It's crazy.
The adrenaline from it, the different people that you meet, traveling, everything like that. It's unbeatable by far.
Yeah. Dude, the experiences, as Marcelo can attest to, are timeless. And even I've heard Marsh talk about, like, the richest people in the world can't buy these kinds of experiences because they're so real. Yeah, there's no facade, there's no there's no buffer. It's just me and the culture, the people, wherever I'm at, and it's like, it's just too real, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
we have that
I've had some of my best times in a ghetto Motel 6 with roaches, just because you're with the family, you're with your team, and you're with the homies, and that's all you really need. You don't necessarily need to be in the Ritz-Carlton or something like that. It's all about the people that you're with and the experiences that you're creating.
Yeah,
that's the journey right there. That's the magic. Like, those are those memories.
the
Yep.
bigger the madness too. Like I love when
Oh, yeah.
the hotel's like shitty, the weather's shitty, when it's all just shitty, but you're with your
Yeah.
boys, you know?
Yep.
You're with
Yeah.
your
Yep.
team, you got the same common mission and you fight through. Like it makes everyone that much closer. It's like
Misery
that much
loves
better.
company, man. You're
Yeah,
going through it together.
it does. You need company with misery, that's for damn sure.
Yes.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So in 2010, that's when you made Elevation. Is that correct?
Yep. Yep.
And you
That was the
started.
first event I ever played with them. I played like this local tournament with them.
Okay.
But that was the first national I played with them was Phoenix, and it was kind of a bummer, man. We went 1-3 that event, and
Ooh.
made Sunday
I'm
somehow.
sorry, Corey. I'm
right?
sorry. What division was this?
Semi-pro.
Okay, yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, Elevation. It was the first year.
Yep.
So I had just gone from D3 to semi-pro, played with them, and I actually had a great event. Like up until honestly Vegas, I still look back to Phoenix and like think of that as one of the best events I ever played.
Okay.
Dope.
Wow.
And just
And
because
what was it about that event that made it set so far apart in your mind?
because for me making the jump from D3 to semi-pro and playing with those guys, and then how I played, like I shot a lot of people that event, and I was just running down, and I had still had the wrecking crew mentality, and we were just go X ball style, just like
Yeah.
you go, you shoot, and it was almost like Russians. You shoot, and if nobody's shooting at you, you go and you run, and that was it.
Yeah.
And that's really all I did all event.
Nice.
And then and I actually started making a name for myself a little bit and got reached out to after that, and then we
Yeah.
folded.
Ah.
Like we played the one semi-pro event, and then it just like fell off and it folded. And I actually quit paintball after that for 2 years.
Oh,
Just
wow.
completely stopped playing paintball. Like
Whoa.
yeah, was just living at home, kind of not working. Quit paintball, and then
Oh my
ended
God.
up
So hold
moving
on.
to
Walk me through like how that all ended and what was the reasoning for that closure
Yeah,
there?
that's big right
being
there.
young
Like,
and immature.
Okay.
you gave up. You
For
gave
that.
up because you were
Uh,
frustrated.
No, I was gung ho
It was
about
the
paintball. I was
team.
very much
Yeah.
gung ho about paintball. Some of the guys on the team stopped playing, and it fell off. And I definitely didn't have the drive to pull a bunch of older guys to it. But also, I had moved to Tempe, which if you live in Arizona, you know Arizona's college town, and I
Mhm.
started partying a lot. And
Yep.
so
So no,
I
so
started
so you
partying a lot,
yeah,
and
okay.
it was all me. It was 100% me. And so
So
I
you gave
started
up.
partying.
You
I was
gave up on
21.
paintball. You gave up.
Yeah, I
You had a
pretty much.
you had a bad event and you decided you wanted to go party instead.
Listen, I had a good event, and I wanted to go
Hey,
party.
dude, you're
Yeah.
the champ right now, baby. Don't worry. Like no ego. You're the champ. You're the best one in this
Yeah.
room right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
but honestly, I was young and immature, and I started partying way too much. And I honestly, I still think back on that. That's one of my huge regrets about paintball is not
Mhm.
continuing. And it's funny because
That
I look
time.
back. There's been 3 or 4 times throughout my life that my dad has given me specific advice.
Yeah.
One of those was
This
being
was one of them.
paintball and not moving to Tempe and
Yeah.
staying at home and like making sure I had everything together. And so I'm like, no, I can move to
Yeah.
Tempe. I can do this. Like I don't need
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. Move
Yeah.
to Tempe. All my money goes towards rent. Can't play paintball anymore. Sell my paintball gun and
Oh boy. So
yeah,
how
yeah.
I'm sure you were about 21.
20. Yeah, I was
20,
20 and
yeah.
moving
Damn.
into 21, and yeah, it was just
Yeah.
a lot of
That's
going
when
out,
it happens.
partying, and
That's how it happens every time.
yep. Yep, and so literally 2 years, quit
Yeah.
and ended up meeting, go ahead.
That's always the response I have to people when I go to clinics or I'm coaching a team or whatever it is. I'm Tyler. I'm sure you've seen the same thing. It's parents or coaches will be like, this is the next up and coming player. He's great. And the kid's maybe 14, maybe 15, 13 even, and they have great raw talent. They do really well. First thing to me is, well, let's see how they grow up because
Mhm,
school and outside influences, girlfriends, different activities, drinking, partying can totally pull somebody from the focus of paintball. And so to me, it's almost like a criteria to being a good player is yes, of course, talent and stuff, but staying true to the dedication. Like that's what it takes. And that's the hardest thing. You can't predict it. And so many players, and rightfully so, because it's not like paintball is incredibly rewarding monetarily, like you get a lot of reward in the pride. And if you want to turn it into a business, you can. If you really want to pursue it, you can. It'll give you more travel experiences and friendships and things like that than you've ever had before. But at the same time, it's a big sacrifice to play paintball. It truly is, and I think that's why the community is so loving of each other because everyone kind of shares this sacrifice. It's like, hey,
Mhm.
if you play, like, I know what you're giving up to be here at these events, so like
Yeah.
we're
We know
kind
what
of
it
part of
takes.
this brotherhood, this cult, but yeah, sorry, a
It
little
is.
quick interjection right there.
No, I mean, yeah, I 100% agree. And so, I mean, to go back at it for me, that 2 years, I regret everything about it because I feel like I was at a point then that even if Elevation folded and I kept playing, I could have found a spot, and I, I,
Dude,
it wouldn't
the
have been because of
universe
that. It
works
wouldn't have been
perfect.
7 years, eight
Yeah.
years later. That
Yeah.
I end up going pro after that. So it's kind of it's weird to look back and see how everything kind of unfolded and the journey and everything. But
Oh, it's all right.
it's different. But I definitely wouldn't change a thing. Right. I'm kind of
Yeah.
into the league late. I'm already 30, but at least I got one under my belt now, and hopefully a
That's
bunch
right.
more to go.
You're off to a
That's
great
right, buddy.
start, dude. Are you kidding? Like the very first pro event you had, you guys got third. Was it third? Elevation? Not
Eighth,
third. Not third. No.
eighth.
Sorry. Yeah, no, not third. I'm thinking Aftermath. That was Aftermath.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys did very well. You guys did
Yeah,
very
yeah.
well. You
Sunday
dominated in
multitude.
the prelim. You did really well in the prelims and then lost Sunday morning.
Dude, who
Um,
knows? Maybe if you hadn't partied those 2 years, you would have never come
yeah,
back. I don't
yeah.
know, and all I'm saying is everything is right. You're right on time. That's all I'm
Mhm.
trying to say.
Yep.
Like, bro, you are right on time. You're obviously doing the right things, but it's that growing up that Marcelo was talking about is very necessary. And
Yes.
some people do it with the paintball gun in their hand. Some people take a step away and then come
Oh
back.
my God.
But it's
I'll be right back. I'm so sorry, guys. Dang it. I'll be right back.
there he goes.
Jesus.
I don't know where he's going, but maybe he
Important
has
things to do.
maybe his girlfriend's outside and wants a little kiss or something, or I
He
don't
seemed
know.
like he was either in trouble or scared, which it could
Yes,
be both.
it looked like someone's definitely at the front door. So
Yeah,
Marcelo will be right back. And we're going to continue on, talking about your story here. So,
yeah, yeah.
so you had this 2 year little rager. Good for you. Everybody does it. And, as long as you are taking care of yourself, and obviously during that time, it's kind of crazy. I know when I was that age, same kind of thing. I was fortunate enough that I've been playing pro paintball since I was 14. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of brainwashed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
paintball is it's just all I know. And
Yeah.
I had the luxury also of being in the Central Valley of California with a bunch of, Modesto and the Bay Area and all that kind of stuff. But it is a grinder, man. And so moving through the little, Mr. Rager portion, what happened after and what got you back into the game?
Oh man, just literally the friends that I had that were still playing, and I think that's a huge thing. Going back to like we talk about the community, right? It's like for me, I have so many friends that have played and stopped playing, and it is always my goal to get them to play again. It is always my goal
Absolutely.
to get a gun in their hand. Like Augie, take Augie Orozco for instance.
Yeah.
He quit
Yeah.
paintball. He was done. Like before our pro year, I spent out 3-4 years after he injured his knee. I spent 3 years trying to get Augie back into playing paintball, and I had different like plans in place. Like I would just send him guns that he would like, just to like, so he's thinking paintball, right?
Yeah.
And then like I'd hit him up and be like, "Yo, just come out and drill. Like I'll give you a gun. Just shoot at me. You don't even have to
Yeah.
move. Just shoot at me, and I'll run and I'll do stuff." And I'm just trying to get him out to the field, and then I got him out. Like, okay, he came out one time and he's like, "Oh, I'll help out with coaching." Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're at the field.
You hooked him.
You're at the field. As soon as you're at the field, you can't not like get that itch again. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, it was huge, and so that was a big part of it is kind of seeing people that I knew still playing and wanting to get back into it and missing the competition
For
and
sure.
missing all of it, honestly, just
Yeah.
paintball and that adrenaline rush in general. And
For sure.
so started playing again. My ex actually bought me an '09 Ego that I still have to this day. I'll
Dude.
never get rid of that gun. And
She bought you a paintball gun?
she bought me the '09 Ego, and it was probably the only time I've cried or almost cried from
Was it for a
opening
birthday
from
or
opening. It was
like?
for Christmas. It
Oh
was for
wow.
Christmas, and so after the 2 year break, I came back and I was just bumming guns, borrowing guns, and like
Yeah.
it's like any other thing. You want to use your own thing, like
Of course.
the balance, the feel, everything. Like I'm using a different gun every weekend. It wasn't
Yeah.
good, right?
You
And
got to know it's like a relationship. You build the
you
relationship
got
with
to
your
know
gun,
exactly. You got
you
to
know?
trust it. If
Yeah,
there's no
for
trust,
sure.
you got nothing.
It's yeah, that's right.
So yeah, man, I'm getting back into it, bumming guns, and she kind of noticed that. And Christmas came around, and I knew what the box looked like. Like I've had up to that point, I'd
Oh,
had
dude.
so many egos and everything like that. And I opened the box and
You were like, no
I
way.
unwrapped and I opened the box and I just see the gun case and I knew instantly, right? Like as soon as I saw just the white with the silver little tab, I knew what it was, and like I didn't want to take it out. Like I
Oh,
instantly just like it hit me and I like teared up and I was like, I looked at it, I was like, are you kidding? So I pulled it out and sure enough it was green, my favorite color, and I
dude,
used
she saved your paintball career.
yeah, yeah. I
No
owe a lot
lie.
to her. I owe a lot to
Yeah.
her, no lie. And yeah, that I dude, I used that gun for 5 years, I
Mm.
Damn.
want to say. And like I guarantee I can still take it out of the box and it'll work great.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
that thing, like I used it all through our D2 year, our D1 year, stuff before that, and yeah, that gun pretty much saved me coming back into paintball
Yeah.
and and
That's
and, yeah.
that's a quality piece of equipment she hooked you up with there, you know what I'm
And
saying?
it's
That's
funny. People have offered me like crazy amounts of money to buy that gun because it shoots so good. They're like,
yeah.
oh, what do you want for it? I was like, nah, can't.
It's my baby.
That's one
Yeah.
gun now, and then that gun, my Elevation CS2, and then my Ironman 35 season gun. I'll never get rid of.
So, oh, for sure. Those are relics. You got to keep those forever. And then you get back in and you get this new gun and then you're playing with your boys that you used to play with before you stopped playing, is that right?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot that went in between that, or
Yeah.
like our D2 years where Pirates and I
That's
played with
right.
Pirates for a little bit, SC Pirates. That's when I was coming out to California before I moved out here, and
That's
then
right.
Elevation merged with Pirates, and
Mhm.
then
Hey,
they split. Yeah.
real quick. Like, yeah, there's all this struggle with all these different divisional teams. What I think it's so easy because it's so common. The things you have to sacrifice to make those kind of things work. But let's talk about them because you weren't just like, oh, I'm playing with this team, playing with that team. Let's talk about how difficult it was to jump around on divisional teams and find an organization that had like-minded players that want to win and the financial struggles and roadblocks. Let's talk about that a little bit because again, to me, you were a divisional player that really like climbed the ranks, stayed committed, and then literally saw the fruits of their labor, come to fruition in Vegas, which is so amazing. So I really want to talk about the divisional aspect and like what you did during that time, how much money you were paying, what you were doing to pay that kind of stuff. Like that to me is something that everybody can relate to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for divisionals, up until even Elevation, our pro season, we were paying out of pocket. Or well, I mean, they took care of me, or else I wouldn't have played at all. But coming up
Pro
in
season.
yeah, yeah. But even coming up through divisionals, obviously, like we don't have any monetary, sponsorship or
Of
financial,
course.
you
Yeah.
help. It was all out of pocket, and so all of us had our normal jobs, and so that was one thing about our team too is there were some semi-pro teams, D2 teams that had funding, and could go out to practice and could schedule practices easy. But we had, Hal, who was a medical device salesman who was traveling constantly. We had people who were, either out of state, or Mike Urena, who was traveling for different stuff. Everybody had adult jobs.
Mhm.
So getting practices to scheduled that everybody can make it. A lot of the time we'd be going out to events, our D2 season, with, 6 guys out of our 8 for one day of practice. And then some guys could make the Saturday, but some guys couldn't make the Sunday. And,
Yeah.
that also came to a money thing because now 5 people or 6 people are splitting paint one day and then 8 people are splitting paint the next day. And you got to,
Yeah.
you got to get all that. And there's a lot more money and X's and O's that goes on, I think, behind the scenes that I think younger players don't know because they don't
For sure.
necessarily have the line of sight to it.
Mhm.
Because I mean, if you're 13, 12, you don't necessarily need to know the budget of of what it
Yeah.
takes to be on a team. But that's something that as I came up, you once you start paying more and more out of pocket and you start traveling, you really start to realize kind of like you kind of mentioned, Marcel, that the sacrifices that you're going to start making outside of paintball in order to continue playing paintball. Because as we all know, unless you're getting covered or unless things are, you're getting paid, paintball is expensive. It's expensive, and it's always been expensive. Whether it's paint, whether it's traveling for it, it's going to hit the pocket. So you kind of have to put things into perspective, and especially if you don't have that much money or your team doesn't have that much money, you're going to start putting into perspective things to either sacrifice outside of paintball or sacrificing how often you're going to practice. And that was kind of something that we fought with coming up, is just how often can we get out to practice? How many people can we get to practice?
Yeah, there are so many hurdles that you have to jump doing this, and what you're talking about there is exactly right. You have to have a clear line of communication with everybody, and everybody's got to be on the same page. Otherwise, things can turn south very quickly. So there has to be a very good awareness of what the goal is and where we're headed with the team and the organization and how we're going to do it. Because, like you said, it costs every paintball. That's cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. It's costing money every time. So
Yeah.
it's what's some good advice you could give to people to jumping these hurdles and not falling apart? And because we see it all the time. Teams fall apart, and it's typically over the dollar bills and not being able to know the direction to take or how to navigate. It's really hard to have a team, so it's crazy.
It really is. I mean, if you look at the league, there's 2 teams that you can kind of look at that has one would be us, right? And then the other would be 187, who stayed together, pretty much all their homies, their small group, and worked their way up.
X Factor.
X Factor. Okay,
X
yeah,
Factor's
exactly.
big
X
one.
Factor.
And they're
Right. So,
at the top of the league, so it's
exactly. And I think 187 is on their way, right? There's something that
Yeah.
goes to sticking with your group, but at the same time, if I look back
They're,
at all the
they're like Revo now, right? Obviously, Revo. Yeah, 187 hasn't been in team for a long time.
087, 187,
Yeah.
or I don't know, whatever it is.
187 hasn't been a pro team for about 5 years, but who's
Yeah.
counting?
It's 187.
I
Revo
understand.
187 crew.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's all those dudes, and they have fought tooth and nail to be on that field, and they're still there fighting. I love it.
Exactly. And then it's cool to see those, because for me, like, you look at, other than elevation, but like, you guys can probably look at it too, the people that you actually started playing paintball with, like, you
Yeah.
guys also probably have a lot of them.
Bro, no.
There's not a single person that I started playing with that
Yeah.
played still, except I sold my gun, helped out a buddy, like we were talking about, whoever I can get to play paintball again, play paintball.
Yeah.
My buddy lives in Denver. My buddy Chase Hutter lives in Denver, and he's like, "Oh, I'm thinking about playing again." I was like, "What do you need?"
Yeah,
Like, "Let's get it going,
go.
man. Let's go. I got extra gear. I'll send it to you right now."
Dude, I love that. Yeah, you're single-handedly getting more people in the game. And yeah, like for me, I started with Oakland when I was just a kid. I'm the last. There's no more Oakland players left. I'm the last one, playing pro.
Damn.
And then I know it's crazy.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and
I've been watching you.
yeah, yeah.
Day one.
Dude, it's been a long journey. I'm so blessed to still be able to be in the position I am to play at this level and do it with a little bit of oomph and help the industry in any way that I can. But yeah, it's crazy seeing where we came from, and like, I'm so happy I still get to see Rich Telford all the time. He's one of my favorite dudes in the whole world. He still goes to all the tournaments, and I started out in Modesto, but it's just like, yeah, if anything we can do to get the old schoolers, everybody who started with us out there, let's rally them up, even if it's just for some fun paintball. Who cares,
Exactly. I remember seeing you. We got to get you back out in the cheetah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the tiger. Yeah, dude.
But yeah, it's funny, Legends. I just played on Saturday. We went out to Velocity Paintball and played some 10-man woods ball. Ryan hit us up, and we went out, and like, Glenn Takamoto was out there, Davey, Rodney was out there. It was a good time,
bro.
It was a good time. It was a lot of fun. They were getting ready for a 10-man thing, I think.
That's right.
We went out and had a good time. It was fun.
That was just a couple weekends ago, or last weekend?
This last Saturday, yeah.
Dude, awesome.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Those are the best guys. Glenn Takamoto's hands down one of the best paintball players to ever touch the planet Earth, dude. That guy, I've seen Glenn. I've seen Glenn do things.
He's still got it too. He's still got it. Literally, we were standing. One of the points was ending. We're just sitting there. It's wood ball, so it's right. We're just standing there, and all of a sudden, the dude we're right next to just get clapped, and you hear it clear. Yeah. And all of a sudden, we look and we're like, what just happened? Like, where did that come from? And you look, and Glenn is literally like behind this thing, like through this little hole. And one shot just I was like, all right, so got it.
Dude, he's a wizard, master wizard out there.
Oh yeah,
for sure. He's one of my favorite dudes too. I got to see Glenn for Brandon Short's wedding. He was out there in Mexico. We got to hang out with Glenn, which was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a madhouse out there. One of the best times ever.
A madhouse of paintball legends.
Yeah, Marcelo will tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's continue on the lineage, the C Hall lineage here. So this is around, I think, 2011, right? 2012, where we're at, and kind of take us through This is when you're with Elevation still? Is
Elevation. So yeah, so we 2012, I believe, is when we did our D2 year with Elevation, and it's when I was using my O9
Yep.
Ego,
Yep.
and we did really good that season. We had a first, 2 seconds, and a third, and then bid it at Cup and didn't get the series. So that was kind of heartbreaking. And to touch on it real quick, my biggest fear in playing paintball is nothing paintball related, right? Is missing an event and my team winning.
Yeah.
Because like I want to be there, right?
Yeah.
I never want to miss an event. I hate missing an event. It's the absolute
Of course.
thing for me to do, and that thought is always going through my mind if I miss an event. And
Yeah.
so Elevation did that to me. MAO that year, they went and they won MAO, and I went through the most mixed emotions watching that match, dude. Because I was so happy, like going through it. I'm so happy. I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
I'm not there. God, like I love seeing these guys win and their smile and how happy they are, and like because I know it works for our series points too. But at the same time, I'm like, oh,
so why were you not there?
Honestly, I can't remember why I missed MAO that year. So, something came up, and I want to say it was probably money or something of the effect. But I couldn't make it, and so I remember just working, and I had my iPad with the webcast up next to me.
Oh boy.
Sure, I'm watching it. I'm like, oh man!
They all said, "Hey, hey, everybody!"
Like, yes. And they're like, "Oh, I wish you were here." And I'm like,
Yeah, I hate you. Oh man, that's funny.
You go to the next one, and it's like, "Oh yeah, we haven't gotten a win." I was like, "No, not yet." And they're like, "No, yeah, we have." I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Forgot about it. Yeah, that's brutal, dude. That'll keep you showing up every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Fear of missing out there, buddy.
Yeah, but that was our DT season, and that was huge for us. I think playing that well because we had kind of came back and
For sure.
And
That's a
we
major
played
boost.
season, and then we went D1, and I don't think we were ready for the gap that D2 went to D1 because we spent our first year. I don't think we won more than 2 matches in event ever. And then that kind of folded, and I want to say that next year is when we merged with Pirates, SD Pirates.
So I want to pick your brain for a second because I know this is a very valuable bit that the listeners will get a lot of value from. Is in that gap, what do you think was the most valuable tool you could have acquired for your organization to be better in that division? Like, what was the thing you were missing in that gap?
I think it was just field time. I think it was field time and paintball IQ. Field time with each other, right? We did decent in D2 because we had enough skill for it. But going up into semi-pro, we had skill, but not necessarily the teamwork, I think. And as you go into semi-pro, I think is that gap of where you're really getting that next level of communication, right? That much more that game planning, that higher IQ, that situational.
Yes.
And we hadn't really played at that level all that much either. For us, it was hard for us to find anybody to practice on Elevation. We would come out to California and practice SD Pirates. That's how we knew them. That's how we had the relationship with them.
Dude, I remember this so vividly, watching you out there running around, dude. And now it's crazy. I'm just so happy that you've stuck with it and that you've been able to get that win, dude. And like, that's so amazing. You never gave up. And sorry to cut you off. I'm just super stoked for you, bro. It's been a long journey for you.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But also, hold on. Actually, also kind of a short journey. You won your first pro event 6 tournaments after playing pro. 6 tournaments. Well, actually, you missed a year, right? Or you missed?
No, it's more. It's more. So it's like it's 7 tournaments.
Wait, hold on a second, Corey.
I played
Vegas. You missed Vegas the second year. So hold on. You won in your 3rd season, not your 2nd season. Oh, okay. Yeah. So way more than 6. Okay. My bad. You won in your 3rd
9, 11, 12, something like that.
Third season. Okay. Still though, there's teams that come into the pro division that have been around 4 or 5 years and they've barely made Sunday still.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and I didn't play Vegas last season.
Right.
So who knows what could have
happened? There we go.
Who knows what could happen? What were we, who knows what happened? You're right. We'll talk about that. Missed a tournament for some bougie, but it's okay. The team needed you clearly. But yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hop back in.
Yeah, we'll hop back in. So, the next season was, I believe, when we merged with SD Pirates, and after the Elevation's rough semi-pro year, merged with Pirates, had another rough semi-pro year. We didn't win a match
What year was this?
until 2013,
Hmm.
14.
Wow. Okay. Got
Yeah.
it. All right.
Yeah, that was right when I got on Dynasty,
Dynasty.
and you guys were out there
That was
gritting
right.
and grinding.
That was right
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
got
yeah,
Ironmen, and we brought Brandon
Yeah.
Cornell up, and this is the time that I was talking about, that I saw you at Camp Pendleton all the time.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
now,
yeah,
like, who's this guy? He's, you're always out here working. You were good,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, trying. And so what kind of helped me too is the Elevation guys were very structured, right? For me being young, they were very structured, and that was something that kind of continued on. And then once we merged with Pirates, that was huge, having just the Pirates organization, and then still having Howe, who obviously was kind of the manager, coach, player for however many hats he wore for our team. And so still had that structure. And then kind of the Elevation guys fell off for a little bit for life and work and everything like that. And so I stayed with the Pirates, and we played the semi-pro year and just did apps. I've never gotten my ass every event so much. Like it was rough. But we kept playing, and we had the same squad that even though we were losing every match, every event, we stuck together, and we actually ended up not playing NXL the season after that. Can't remember the year, but that's when we played WCPPL as San Diego Pirates. And that's right when I actually moved out here, is when we played our WCPPL season. That was 2005. And I had been out here. It was nice for me because it kind of solidified for me that my move out here was a good idea. It was a good decision, because I literally moved out here, and then my mother-in-law at the time was in town helping us like unpack and stuff. And I'm like, thanks for helping unpack, but I'm going to go to a tournament this weekend, which they were not happy about whatsoever. Not
See
happy
you
about
later.
the tournament. Yeah. And then we win the tournament. Like the team had
Dang.
had a great tournament, and we ended up winning the
There we
first
go.
event. The weekend I moved to California, so I was like, yes, this is like,
Yeah.
Good omen,
this
right?
We're on the right path.
it's got to mean good things, right? And so we had a great season playing WCPPL. We won back-to-back events. We actually won the next event as well in Sacramento. And then I think we shit the bed in Vegas because for whatever reason on Pirates, that was our curse. We went to Vegas and we wouldn't even go out and like party or do anything. We just didn't play good in Vegas. It was the curse of Vegas, and it followed us everywhere. Except me now, which is good. I'll take it.
Yeah, except for this last one, which works. Yeah.
But after that, it was actually that WCPPL season that I ended up going and playing a random D3 tournament in Vegas. It was a UPL.
Yeah.
I played it with Elevation. I played it with, it was Howe played with me, Chris Whitaker, and then we had picked up some other guys. Josh Mountain played with us that event, but we ended up getting like second or third. And of course, like Ryan Bosch played, and he had gotten the itch, and it was me and Ryan on the drive back to Arizona, and it's like, so we're getting this going again. And so for the next literally 4 hours, we talked about getting the gang back together, getting it going again, playing. What can we do? Let's go. And sure enough, it didn't happen. Played with Pirates that next season, and that was the season we won the events. Is when Elevation actually ended up playing the WCs. And so I'm still playing with Pirates. Elevation's coming back, and Elevation's like, come play with us. I was like, yeah, I'm already playing with Pirates. I'm in the middle of the season. I was like, I'm going to finish out the season first, but then obviously I'm on board. And it was funny. We ended up playing Elevation. We beat them by 2 points in prelims. And then on Sunday, they thought it would be a good idea. And I can't remember who, but I think it was Augie told them not to do it. But Bosch and I think Hal went and they got a blow up doll, and they put my name on it, and they put it in their pit, and they tried to text my ex and get my jersey from me. So she would steal my jersey and give it to him. She did not. She held
Good
strong.
for
Did
her.
not give the jersey up. But literally, I walk out and all I see in the pit is a blow up doll with Corey Hall written on the blow up doll.
And this is when is this?
Playing a WCPPL event.
Okay, wow.
So we were playing them on Sunday. First event Sunday for WCPPL event. And
Yeah.
I literally walk by and just a huge blow up doll with Corey Hall written on the front of it, and I'm like, okay.
Dude.
And we came out and just mollywopped him.
Shout out to the WC people.
Yeah, we came out, beat the brakes off of them, sent them home. We ended up winning that event, and then at the end of the season is when kind of it all came back together, and we started playing again.
Nice, dude. Yeah, dude, the Pirates. We would play against the
Pirates,
Pirates.
yeah, absolutely.
Dynasty would play against the Pirates all the time out there, like at
I
the end of the
remember.
day. Yeah.
Those were the best practices we had, man. We'd be out there
Yeah.
practicing,
You
and
know
you guys
why?
would finish yours, and we'd be like, you guys want
Yeah.
paint? You guys want
Exactly.
paint?
Exactly. No, that's
Do
what I
you
was
guys want paint?
hold on.
Yeah.
That's why. So listen, a Division 3, 4, 5 team got to play points against San Diego Dynasty and the Ironmen. I remember that. But the reason was because all the players on the Pirates were young and upcoming, but they were there longer than anyone else. They didn't
That's right.
expect points. They didn't sit there and say, well, we're here. Why can't we play you? It was more, whenever you guys are ready, if we can get 1 point, we'll play 1 point. And
Yeah,
so
we would take it when you guys would be sitting on one field.
Exactly. And so everybody was like, yo, yeah, let's give these kids points. They deserve it. They've earned it. They're asking, like, they're here, they're putting in the work. All the other teams would leave and you guys would be the last ones there. We're like, hey, we have no one else to play. Yeah, let's play you guys. That's what players need to do. Quit being afraid of the work. You know, I posted something yesterday about, I'm so sick of, I see all these teams screaming and yelling in the huddle of how much they want to win and we're the best. And, oh, yeah, go get it. We deserve it. This is our tournament. These players are not putting in the work that requires that, and it's soft. It is the softest bullshit that I have ever seen. I can't stand. There's almost nothing I can't stand more than people that are rah rah rah, but don't put in the work that requires that rah rah rah.
I'll bark, no bite.
And then
They ain't about it.
no bite. And then when they don't get the results that they think they deserve,
They complain.
and they know that they left work on the table. They complain. To me, I can't stand that. I'm so sick of it. And I know honestly, this was more sparked of Tyler. Tyler's thing is like, show me. That's his thing with the team, with everything. Show me. And that's kind of what sparked, you know, this last weekend. We had plenty of time in Iowa as we were driving around 4 hours. we drove all over the state, which was amazing. But we had plenty of time to talk. It's like, yeah, I'm sick of the divisional. Like, look, if you want it, there's only a few players that actually ever look. Corey, you're an example. You're sitting here on the show, pro player, just won your first pro tournament a few months ago. And guess what the common theme is? Persistence and dedication, minus the 2 years that you gave up on. But you came back, and you were persistent and dedicated. You know what I mean? And I didn't even know about those 2 years, to be honest. But every time that I've seen you at the field, you're hungrier to do work than majority of the people there. And I mean that. It's not just because you're on the show. That's a fact. And if there's other pros, and there's other pros listening, I know Mouse listens to some of them, and it's funny. He's like, you guys gave that guy a lot of slack, you know, because we have guests on the show and maybe we're nice, I guess. I don't know. And you know how Mouse is. Mouse is just he's very hypercritical. That's why he's as good as he is.
That's why he's good. Exactly.
And but no, you were one of those players that were always there, always working, always doing what it takes. You were doing above and beyond. You were willing to put in the extra work. You still are willing to put in the extra work, always. And that's what it takes. If you want to be pro or you want to be good and you don't put in the extra work, you will not be good. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of the huddles. You walk around the paintball tournaments and you hear the guy in the pit, he's yelling at his team, this and that, and then they get and it's just like, you drank last night. What are you talking about?
I was just gonna say, as they have Bud Lights in the pit before their match.
Like, bro, stop it. Stop fooling yourselves.
Yeah.
There's
a time to celebrate at the end of an event when you win.
It's a sport, and it's a sport now more than it ever has been, and you have to treat it as such. There's a lot of athletes getting into the game. There's a lot of people that take it very serious now. 15 years ago, it wasn't quite like that, you know, but it is now. And so if you want to do anything in the sport, you got to put up or shut up, period.
And dude, today more than ever, that is so true, dude. And if you want it, it can be yours, but you gotta show that you're really putting in that work and show your real pedigree. Because there's a lot of people with that pedigree right now, especially in this modern day of paintball. It's hungrier than it's ever been, and I can say that without a doubt. Hungrier than it's ever been. Players are working harder than they've ever worked, and you can see the top tier paintball players and the top tier organizations are putting in that work, and that's what you have to do. You know. And I know that, like, I know A-Rod's been playing a little bit of music since Vegas, but I know going into Vegas, that dude was working his ass off too.
Oh yeah.
And I hope. Let me just cut straight to the chase. Are you guys going to World Cup or no?
Nope.
Everything that I've heard is yes.
Dude,
Oh.
Until I hear otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm getting ready for Cup regardless.
Yes.
So
of course.
I like
that's
that.
where my head's at. Regardless, I will be ready. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
As far as I know, we're playing. So that's
And if
my
the
mentality.
Ironmen don't, if the Ironmen don't play, you're gonna play for another pro team or something like that.
I'm gonna shoot somebody at Cup.
Okay, there we go.
Let's put it that way. Biggest
Dude, so
only answer. I'm shooting somebody at Cup.
there we go. So,
I'm
but
sorry.
yeah, I mean, you guys have to go to Cup. You have to. There's no no choices. You guys are the defending champ. You got to show up there and defend that title now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see even what Cup is going to be.
It's
Right.
very limited.
It's
Yeah.
very limited. It's honestly going to be kind of a shell of itself of what Cup's going to
Yes,
be, and
of course.
it'll still be Cup, right? But it's very different. So I'm interested to see what it's going to be. I'll be excited that it's paintball, right? Like
Totally.
I was excited about the Midwest thing. I watched that on
Yeah.
sports, and it's paintball again, right? So
Yeah.
regardless of what it is and what capacity the event is,
Mhm.
it's pro paintball again. It's us putting content out and getting more
Dude,
people out there, and that's what it's about.
it's like insult to injury because 19 World Cup was like the biggest World Cup I had seen since the heyday.
Maybe.
Yeah, like that was the best World Cup I've seen since I was a young kid going to those legendary cups. So it hurts so bad because I was like, oh my God. And it still hurts to even talk about it. It's like, we were all like the end of 2019, like, dude, life is amazing. Look at this. It's booming. Everybody was like, oh my God, stock is up, baby, let's go. And then all of a sudden just come rolling through with this madness. And I really hope that we can still have a nice, good showing, a safe showing at World Cup. And I know that all the guys are working really hard to make sure that we can have the safest possible event, that we can,
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think that there's definitely we can, right? It's just going to come down to everybody, not only the field or the venue and NXL and everything like that, but it's going to come down to the players too and keeping safe, because the field can only do too much, right? The venue can only do so much, and whatever the case is, but it's going to be on the players as well.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah. So at World Cup, as badly as I want to hug you and give you the big high fives, it's probably going to be knuckles and elbows. And, I love you with a little hands together, salutations, a little prayer. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And we were actually thinking, like, I think that the pros should even have like their own entrance into the event, because
we are
it's
in
going
more
to be
contact with anybody than anyone else, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes. So we'll see, even though obviously like I said, I want to hug and shake hands and do all that stuff, because that's just who I am. I love people. And that's why this has been so brutal. Yeah.
So many people you don't see on a daily basis or weekly basis. Even you get to see so many of the people that you've made relationships with, but you don't get to see other than an event. And we haven't had that all season.
I know. Yeah. It'll just be good to see everyone's smiles. Like, I know that we're all going to be masked up, but you could see the smile in the eyes. You could still see the smiles, and I just can't wait to see everybody.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a weird World Cup, but you gotta understand where you are in life. And right now in life, in society, we're in a strange time where World Cup shouldn't even be happening. We're very lucky that it is happening. And so the fact that it is, you can't go in with the expectations that it's the same as it's always been. I'm going in with the expectations that I'm just very happy we can have it. I'm grateful that we can have it. And we do need to do a good job. And look, I don't care what side of this you're on. I've talked to so many different people. I just had a conversation with my best buds today about this. Wherever you fall on what you think about COVID, you need to do your best. Period. Especially if we're going to have a big paintball event. Here's the facts. It's real, right? It's an actual virus. It is real. It is not a made up thing. It does kill people that are susceptible. It does kill people that are unhealthy. maybe the regular flu would also kill this same group. I'm not saying it wouldn't. That's not even what I'm saying. I'm saying it's killing people. It's dangerous. It has some sort of valid threat. It's something that is on high alert. It's something that is globally under scrutiny right now. So for paintball as a collective, we have to do our best, because if we have an event and we are careless and there's some sort of small community outbreak and people die because of that, no matter how you want to spin it in your own mind, oh, well, they could have passed from anything else, or they were old, whatever you want to spin, it doesn't matter. The facts are they passed from that, and then you trace it back to a paintball event. That's pretty bad for the sport. It's pretty bad for the families, the people. It's not good for anybody. It's not good. So again,
we got to look out for each other. That's
exactly.
number one. Let's look out for each other.
And look, I'm speaking to all of you no maskers, that's who I'm speaking to. Again, because no matter what your beliefs are, if we want World Cup to go smooth and go well, and we want the future of paintball, if you care about the future of paintball to go well, we just need to do our best. And
it's a good look.
Put your pride aside. Exactly, Ty. Put your pride aside. Put everything aside, and just respect the people next to you. We talked about Ty. We talked about the mask thing, right? The damn mask thing on the airline. So for those that for those that have not listened to the previous episodes, the HK mask is one of the best masks you could wear, because it filters.
Dude, buy HK. Let's go.
No, I truly mean this, because
I know, me too.
It has the valves on it, and it has a filter, a surgical grade filter that protects anything coming in, but it also protects anything coming out. And normal mask, like an N95, is the most effective mask at preventing the person wearing the mask from contracting any sort of virus. But it does not protect the person wearing the mask from spreading the virus, because it's an open valve system. So it protects what you inhale. It doesn't protect what you exhale. Well,
it shoots all of your breath out of that valve out into the universe.
Exactly.
It's a COVID valve.
I'm going to try to make this short, because I'm sure people are over it. But the HK mask has valves, but it protects in, but it also has a layer and a filter on the inside that protects you from exhaling anything as well. So anyway, I was going through the airport, and they go, you can't wear that mask. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, it has valves. And I said, okay, hold on. I get what the CDC said, but all the valve masks, they don't have the layers in front of it, and the airline was just ignorantly saying, oh, sorry, this is our blanket rule and we can't accept it. I'm like, oh my God, this is the most safe mask for not only myself, but other people. Like, you're allowing that person who has literally a cloth around his face. This has
like a shirt sleeve that he cut off.
Exactly. I'm like, this has it, dude. This has it. What are you talking about? They wouldn't allow.
Dude, it's like
hold on. I was like, I'm gonna die on this hill. This is the hill that I'm gonna die on, because no, this is completely ridiculous. This is safer for me and the people around me. But my point, the reason I'm bringing this all in, is I don't even wear it to the airport anymore, because I had realized there's people that don't know the actual technology of the mask, and they see the vents and they're scared. And so I'm like, okay, I want you to feel comfortable. So I'm actually a little less safe for myself and the people around me, because I want people around me to feel it's crazy. We're in some crazy times, dude. We really are in some crazy times. And look,
dude, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to start a civil rights movement for the HK Army mask, because not all valves are the same, dude. This is the most.
All valves are equal. That's what I.
Yeah, I swear, dude. The HK is the safest mask, and they're trying to say I can't wear it. I'm like, what, dude? Come on.
It is, yeah.
Dude, buy HK. Let's go. The charcoal is it's a game changer. That mask is so comfortable too. But yeah, it's wild times, and we can't wait to get to World Cup. Let's just do the best we can for each other. Let's be there for each other. If nothing else, it's a great look. It's a great look for us. If we just, even if you have to sacrifice for a couple days, whatever it is, wear that mask for that couple of minutes that you're walking through and doing all that, man, it just looks so good. And let's just, let's go above and beyond to make this the best look we possibly can for the NXL, and support them in any way that we can as paintball players, because that's what the industry needs more than anything, is us coming together and unify and harmonize. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
I like that. Harmonize.
Yeah.
Harmonize, baby. Harmonize.
Harmonizer.
Yeah, let's go, man. That's what it's all about. Yep. So, hey, I want to pick your brain a little bit.
Wait.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So I think we got to dive back in because we still haven't
Yes.
even got into like elevation, pro
That's right.
debut, the big shebang. You guys came on the scene, you achieved your goals. Like let's dive into that.
Let
Yeah.
us have it.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I'll touch on like our semi-pro year, pretty much that led up to our pro year. So we had a good season, right? We got third, a second, and the second killed me. Absolutely killed me. That one got in my head because
And what year?
that was 2017.
Okay.
Because 2018 was our 2018.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
2017 was our semi-pro year, and we did good. We got a third, a second,
Yeah.
I want to say a fourth or so, but our second killed me, and it kind of got in my head because I hadn't played all that well in a finals in WC before that. And I remember us getting like second or something. Something happened, and so it was kind of in my head that I wasn't playing finals well. And then we played finals, and we played at MLK, and I've never been shot so much in one match without shooting a
Oh
paintball,
no.
like without even shooting my gun. And like it was the most frustrating match I have ever had. And I was having a good tournament. Like I
So
had pulled
Yeah.
off
you
some
kept
full
getting
body
shot on the break.
scenarios and got shot in the break, or I'd get to my bunker and I'd be getting rattled. So I'd sit there and be like, oh, fine. And all of a sudden it'd stop. So I'm like, yeah, I'm safe. Whack. And just every
Okay.
time I stuck my head out playing Guess the Paint, I was right. I guessed what paint it was. And
Yeah.
it was the most, and I went back and watched it. And this is when I had kind of started talking to Maddie already. And it's like, oh man, Corey, another early death. I'm like, yeah, you're going to say that again. And again, and again. Like literally every point, man. It was rough, but we
Hey,
got through that
that's
Hold
season.
on,
paintball, dude.
this was after you guys were pro though.
No, that was our semi-pro season.
Okay. Oh,
That,
so
because
it
that was
did
for first and
happen.
second.
It did happen after you turned pro. Just so you know, we'll get into that a little bit later. But
Okay. But yeah, so I mean, we lost that, and it definitely got in my head because I played horrible. And it got in my head as far as, because I've always played decent in prelims, and I'm kind of I get in my groove and I start
Yeah.
playing
Right.
better as the event goes and everything. But I think it just got in my head that I was fine through prelims. It didn't mean as much, but as soon as we got to Sunday, or like Sunday ball or important ball or finals,
Yes.
it seemed like I wasn't playing my game, and I kind of got in my head for a little bit after that. And then what ended up working is I think we actually won a WC, and so that kind of got me snapped out of that and played decent in a final. But that was a huge kind of mental game for me as well, getting over that after Atlantic
For
City
sure.
losing to MLK, because we played them the next event, I think, or something like that, and we stomped them. And I think it was Charlie that came up to me, or came up to us at the after it and shook our hands. He's like, "Bet that one felt good, huh?" Like, yeah, we needed that from
Yeah.
losing finals, because I think we lost by one. We got like 3 penalties. I got shot. They played 4-on-5. They played 4-on-5s and got penalties, and I think we lost by 1 point.
Oh
So
man,
it crushed me.
dude.
Our podium picture of us for like third holding the check, I look so royally pissed off that like I don't even want to be there. I don't even think I spoke until like later on at dinner. Like I was just silent. I was fuming, man. I didn't want to say anything or do anything.
Yeah.
It was a
Dude,
rough one.
it does not feel good when that happens, for sure. And that's sports. It's we like to think we can control all these things, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you prepare as much as you possibly can, and you just hope for the best.
Yep.
You hope you make those bunkers. You hope that those shots go as well as you possibly can. But it's a game. We're playing a game, and it's just like any other game. You only have so much control on those things, and when it goes south, it does hurt definitely a lot, and it takes some time to heal from those wounds.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have been in that place many more times than I have, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah, dude. And you just you got to fail upward. We always talk about that. Fail in the right direction, and make sure that we don't make those mistakes again. And as long as we can do that, we're only going to get better, and we're going to get stronger. But it's when you fail into the wrong direction and start eating yourself alive and it becomes tumultuous, then it's no good.
Yep, when you don't learn from it. When you don't learn from it. When you let it beat you and you don't learn from it.
That's it, dude. Yeah, we got to be learning.
Dig yourself a hole. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I mean, back to that was like our semi-pro year. We got second, third, and I want to say a fourth, and then didn't do so well one of the events. But for us also, that's for us, like as elevation coming up through divisionals. So like teams like DMG, NYX, Distortion was one of the teams, Bears, and some of those guys are playing for pro teams now.
The Bears, yeah.
We came up just fight NYX, right? We came up fighting those guys through divisional just constantly. And so those guys are like family to us too. Like we were always rivals and button heads through it, but like it's kind of cool that all of us throughout that pro, and we got lucky as Elevation. Obviously, everybody kind of knows that story, right? We were the 5th seed, and Distortion and Bears folded. And because those two teams folded, that's why we got moved up into top 4, and that's why we got the 20th seed. We weren't supposed to play pro, and Elevation probably wasn't gonna play.
But it was probably the best thing that ever happened.
Happening.
You know what I mean? It just, you don't have any time to think. It's like, all right, here you go, son of a bitch, get in there and good luck.
it was the weirdest thing because I mean it's the paintball world, right? It's the rumor mill. People knew that we were going pro before I did. Like, because me and Augie show up to Camp Pendleton. We went out to drill one weekend, and all of a sudden someone comes up to me and they're like, "Hey, congrats, man!" And I had gotten married like 3 months before that. Whoa. So or engaged. I had gotten engaged like 3 months before that or something. And so they're like, "Congrats!" And so I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man, thanks." Okay, all right, I'll see you. Didn't think anything of it, and it never like came to that. Oh, congrats on going pro. It's just always congrats. Yeah. And so I'm like, "Oh, and finally, like the 4th or 5th person comes up to us, comes out of their way and tells us that. And we're like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You guys are playing pro." I'm like, "No, we're not." "What are you talking about?" Like, "No, I'm pretty sure. Like, I heard this, that, and the other." And so we walked over to the car. I sent it to the group chat, and I was like, "Yo, like, we keep hearing stuff. Do people know something that we don't? Because we keep getting congratulated on going pro." And Bosch just texts us back, and Bosch just texts us back and goes, "Oh yeah, well, I wanted to make sure it was 100%, and I hadn't gotten it from Tom Cole just yet on the 100%, but yeah, we're like 99% playing pro next season." We're like,
"Yeah,
what?" Okay, let's start practicing. What do you mean? Why are we just now finding out about this?
Yeah, thanks for the update.
Yeah, but whoa. Man, that was a crazy feeling. That yeah. And on top of it, like I kind of mentioned my journey before and how I thought it was going to go, moving out here and either playing with you or Ironman or whatever the case was. But hearing that news and making that jump with the guys that I looked up to for so long, that I have literally grinded weekends and weekends and weekends, put a good amount of time on my life and sacrificed time and money from other stuff, that like to go pro with them was such an incredible feeling. And then to start it off how we did, right, was just,
I mean, that's a dream. That's a dream of so many organizations across the country and across the world, man. And for you guys to, as a brotherhood, be able to do that together, that's huge,
Yeah. And I mean, those guys know too. Those guys are always my family. Like they've had my back since like day one. Like Augie, we won't go into details, but Augie actually Augie picked me up from jail before.
Oh boy!
At 2:00 in the morning, and paid for my truck to get out of the impound so I could get my truck back.
Dude, real friends. How many of us have them?
And he wasn't anywhere near me. He had to, okay, I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown. He called me or texted me at like 10 at night, right? I was like, "Hey, you want to play Call of Duty?" Like, so I get out of holding at like 2:30 in the morning and call him. It's like, "Hey man, you called me? You still playing Call of Duty?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm still up." And I was like, "Oh, can you come pick me up? This and that happened." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll be right there." 45 minutes later, he rolls up, hands me $100 bill to get my truck out of the impound. And
dude,
it's literally like you look back and like each one of those guys have literally like had my back or done something for me at some point throughout my career. And then literally the semi-pro year and pro year, it was like a collective. Like they took care of me, and that was a huge thing for our pro season, because I wasn't even going to play. Like I wasn't going to be playing paintball at all. I told them I was going to take a break at the end of our semi-pro season. Once we kind of found out, we had a meeting, and it was like everybody kind of went around, and I was like, I can't play anymore. Like I got stuff coming up I need to save for. I don't have the money for it. Like I can't do this. And it was funny. It was kind of in like an awkward silence. And then it was Ryan Quaderno who kind of comes on and just goes, "All right, well, should we have him hop off so we can talk then?" And I was like, I was like, damn.
Boom.
Okay. But he said it so they could talk about helping me out and financially supporting me. But like he said that, and I was just like, damn, all right, cool.
Yeah, see you later.
All right, damn, shit. I guess I'm not playing. And I think it's like, and it took him a little bit. I think it was Hal that called me a week and a half, 2 weeks later or so, and was like, yeah, we got you covered. We want you to play with us. We're going to take care of it. Essentially, we'll sponsor you for this season, but don't expect
Yeah.
a wedding gift. And I was like,
Yeah.
deal. That's a deal.
Hey,
that's fine.
That's a good deal
this was
there.
the second year.
That was our first semi-pro year, or that was our pro year, first pro year, because I didn't play with them the second year.
I will say,
Well,
man,
no, I thought you played with them. You just didn't play Vegas.
I didn't play Vegas with Ironman. Ironman picked me up my second year.
Right. That's right, dude. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, dude, the Arizona
Yeah.
paintball culture is spectacular, man. All the fields I go to out here, the people are so nice, and it's just really cool. Obviously, California is my home, and I miss the Central Valley so much, but it's been such a warm welcome out here, and I'm just so honored to be, playing a lot of
Arizona's
paintball out
awesome, man. I give it a lot of hard time because I lived there for 25 years, and
Yeah.
I had to get out because it's hometown, but it's awesome. I'm actually, we were talking about I'll be out there Sunday to coach a team out there on Sunday, and honestly, a big thing about that is I still have the relationships that I have and those friendships that I've built out in Arizona that I'm still able to reach out to and talk to, and now being in the position that I'm in, I'm able to kind of give back and help out.
Hell yeah. Huge shout out Battle Zone.
Yep.
Corey will be out there this upcoming weekend. I'll be out there as well. We're doing a G2 clinic. So if you're in the area, come say hi.
Yeah. So no, here's what I want to point out actually, because I've been going to Arizona doing clinics since 2012, long time. And the common theme was there's some good players. There's some hungry players. These players want to work. They want to get better, but they have no path in sight. There's no pro team around. There's nothing they can do to advance through the ranks. That's always been the issue with Arizona. I'm like, it's such a bummer. And then it was great. Elevation. So, people can say whatever they want about elevation, whether they deserve to be pro or not, this or that. It inspires players in that region to want to continue to go to the field, to practice, to work, to do the drills, to put in the extra effort because they have an attainable pro team that they could play for,
work
sure,
towards.
right?
Yeah.
And that's why Tyler, what you moving out there is probably the biggest thing to happen to Arizona paintball ever. No, it is the biggest thing to happen to Arizona paintball ever. And
dude, let's go Arizona.
I don't, we've never talked about that, but, and I don't want it to be a burden on your shoulders, Tyler, but for the state of Arizona, you are the biggest thing that is
Look at them shoulders. He's got it.
Oh,
come on,
big
come
ones.
on.
But it's just the fact. And Corey, it's because you're not there anymore, right? Like you're kind of the hometown, and A-Rod as well. A-Rod's from Arizona, but he lives in California now, so he's not able to do anything that builds the community. Tyler, you moved there. Rusty lives there. You guys have G2 Paintball with Victor Gamboa.
Yeah.
Arizona Paintball has a lot of opportunity coming up, and it's amazing.
Sure.
And I'm so excited for it because I know that there are so many good players there. There's good players that want opportunity. They spend, every weekend they drive 6 hours to San Diego to practice, and they drive back, or wherever they got to go, they drive, they travel. They didn't have these systems in place at home, and now they do. And I think Arizona Paintball is going to just continue to grow. I think there's going to be a lot of really good players that come out of Arizona.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
I agree. I mean, you look at Phoenix Rising, right? They have Corey Field that goes out and coaches them frequently for the WCs, and they've been killing it in the WCs. And then, I mean, you guys have Brandon Unger, helping you out with G2, and he was honestly big.
Man.
He was honestly he's still been out in Arizona, right? And he's been big. I always see him out at the field, helping people out, drilling. He's putting out videos, doing cool stuff like that. Like he's been super helpful out there. He
is outstanding. I can't say enough good things about Unger.
Me too.
He actually, dude,
solid.
what a stud he is, man. And he actually really helped me out in prepping for the Pro Tour as well. I trained with him several different times at the paintball field. And he's just got a great head on his shoulders, and he's willing to work his ass off. And that's what it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he has that. That's somebody who I got the chance to kind of see come up, because I saw him on his first like D4 D3 team. Like, as like AZ Chooch. They wore like these Suns looking basketball jerseys, paintball jerseys.
That's awesome.
And so I've kind of seen him come up through there, and it's cool. It's kind of like you seeing me, you see somebody, you see the work that they put in, and it's kind of the same thing. Like, nobody I really played or stuck with it, but I made it. And so like for him, it's kind of the same thing. Like, nobody he really started with or played with, at least that I can remember, are still playing, but it's something that he stuck with, and he made sure that he went out and found opportunities to play, right? So that's what I did. I moved to California to try and play pro. He was making that drive every weekend out here when he started playing with Aftermath and stuff like this, and he was trying to practice with Ironmen. And so, I mean, it's the same thing. You look at Mike Arena, that's on your team now, right?
Yeah.
Like he was doing the same thing before. He was driving up here every
Dude,
weekend trying to get on Ironman. And
back
that's
in
another dude that his work ethic, he will drill, play. That kid just wants to play paintball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
remember Mike Urena coming out in 2013, 14 when I was playing on Ironman. Whatever he could, he would come out, say, "Hey, can I get a couple points? I want to try out for the team." He would drive 6 hours one way, not get much play time, sit there, stand on the sidelines the whole time, try to soak it in. Whenever he could get in, he would get in. He didn't complain. He was eager to learn. And at the time, he just honestly he wasn't ready, and so we didn't pick him up. But that denial didn't defer him. He continued to work, and he ended up he's on Dynasty now. He's on our team now. He made it. And he had a little bit of a journey, Elevation, and then DMG, and now Dynasty. But it's again, God, the theme is honestly always persistence, hard work, dedication, not giving up, not being soft, not allowing like a little bit of denial to shape your belief about yourself. Like I've always taken when I get turned down, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It says, oh, okay, all right, I have that much more
Challenge
to
accepted.
prove. Challenge accepted, and,
Yeah.
and that's the difference. And it's actually such an easy shift in your thinking,
It is.
just work harder and you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Like that's the only difference. It's this whole idea of like God gifted talent and you're just a natural. It's funny, even with golf. I went to play golf. Well, after I beat you, Corey, I had two of the best days of my life.
Okay.
I had two of the best, I had two of the best days of my life, and then I went and I played with Matty Marshall, and we went to this big course out like an hour north, really nice, big course, and it was just us two on our tee time, but we had two guys that kind of caught up with us, so they ended up golfing with us, right? And I had the worst day like ever. I told you, Corey, I was like, oh my God, I lost it all. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get off the tee. I mean, I couldn't do anything. But what I did do really well is once I got around the green, no matter what chip shot it was, out of the sand, in some weird rough, like I had amazing shots. And they were like, dude, you're a natural. Cause they knew I just started too. You meet him, you start talking. He's a natural. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I've literally practiced this exact shot probably 1,000 times already. Like I literally have gone, Corey, you and I go quite a bit and we go work at the range and like we practice certain shots. It's not like it goes back to Kevin Durant with the Warriors in the finals a couple years ago where he hit that long three. He responded. He was like, that wasn't a great shot. I've done that 1,000 times in practice. Like that was routine. And that's all it is. Everything, it comes down to routine because you do the work in practice. But I don't even remember why I started.
I just want to follow up with that because I want you guys all to hear something and really, take this to heart. Mike Urena plays for Dynasty.
Yes.
Will be out there this weekend at the G2 training with us because he loves paintball that much. And that's what it takes to attain those types of levels. Like he doesn't have to, he's on Dynasty. He's on the team. He's got a jersey. We're going to print him a jersey for World Cup where he's got his gun. He's on the team, but he will be showing up this Sunday at a G2 clinic at 5:00 in the morning and running around getting beaten to the ground at 5 a.m. on Sunday.
As a participant. Yes.
As a
not
participant.
Trainer. He's not a trainer. No. He's showing up as a participant.
That's right.
The work doesn't stop once you make it.
That's right, dude.
It's just getting started once you make it.
Yeah. You got to be ready to put in more work now.
Yeah, it's just getting started, baby.
For sure, dude. And what is the driving force behind you, Corey? Like what drives you to be the greatest paintball player that you can be?
Man, the fact that I want, ever since I watched paintball for the first time, I went to Huntington Beach 2005, and it's before I played a national tournament or anything like that. I went for my birthday with my buddy and my mom, and I saw Dynasty and I saw the teams and I saw the Oliver, people, just the GOAT, held in such high esteem. And then as I keep playing, there's people like Fedorov and you guys who have that hot, you're considered elite in paintball. You will always be considered elite, and when you guys are done, you're going to be considered legends, right? Like that for me, like that's my goal. and I have
Yeah, I
different
love that.
goals. So like for me, reaching pro, obviously like one part of the goal, one part of the dream, right? But
You
you
just
gotta
started.
build
Yeah.
on it, right? That's level one.
Yeah.
You got to get to level 2 and to level 3, and so obviously like
right.
the next one for me was winning an event.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now for me, like I want to win multiple in a season. Like I
Yeah.
want to win a series. In
Well, hey,
MVP would be
you
awesome,
guys
but
might
like
win the series for this year.
I'm not even accepting that. It's not even a
It
series.
doesn't
It's
count.
if we'll take season champs.
I love you, dude. Thank you.
But I
Thank
mean,
you.
yeah, for me, like we won Vegas. I'll take Vegas. I'm happy with it. That's our win. I'm
Yeah.
ready to move on and get to the next one. Whether
Yep.
it's series or champions, with everything going on this season,
Dude,
I don't know that I'll consider anything a season or a series or anything like that.
I'll give
But
it to
we
you,
got
bro.
our
You got it. You got
we
it.
got our win. We started it off, and yeah, man, I'm
Yeah.
excited to see kind of
Hell
what's
yeah.
next.
Well, you guys better show up a World Cup. That's all I'm gonna say. You better get everybody out there. I need to see you guys.
That's the goal. That's the plan. That's the
Yeah.
plan, man.
Okay. Good, baby.
Hey, so
Yep.
yeah, so no, I want to jump back in again to like your first pro
Yeah.
tournament. You know,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you guys show up to Vegas because you guys did have a really good showing. We played you that first event.
Twice.
Yeah, exactly. We were the ones that knocked you out Sunday morning. You
Only 2
know.
matches we lost.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
You know,
Yeah.
like tough shake. You know, you play Dynasty your first deal, but what was that like? Like realizing, okay, I'm going pro. The preparation for that event. What did you personally take upon yourself? Because you had an amazing event. That was honestly what put you on the map. Corey Hall, 33, is here to stay on the Dorito side, dominating, going down the field, making a lot of smart plays. Like you're not one of those recklessly aggressive players. You're a smart player. You have controlled aggression, which is actually the most coveted style in all of paintball. If you could have controlled aggression and you're effective at it, you're wanted on all of the top level teams. And that's something that you displayed in your first event pro. You displayed a level of poise and controlled aggression that not many new players do, if any. So what was your training like leading up to that? What was your mindset? Let's talk about that leading into your very first pro event.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my mindset, if anything, was just excited. Like for me, it wasn't like too big of a stage or anything, or like too big a weight on my shoulders that for the fact that I was going to play pro, right? Because for me, like we kind of talked about earlier, I had practiced against pros before. So playing against a pro for me wasn't like, oh my God, like I'm going to get shot. Like they're so good at paintball. Like I'm already going out there knowing that paintball is paintball, man. We all have a gun. They're shooting at me like I'm shooting at him.
Dude, that's
so,
what I always say. I'm always like, they got guns too, man. Everybody's got a gun out there.
Like it's simple, and the biggest thing about like high quality or high level paintball is the IQ and the situations that you're going to go through. Once everybody's up here, we can all gun battle, right? We can all do our own thing. And so the big thing for me, and on Elevation, we didn't have a coach, right? We didn't have somebody giving us constructive feedback all the time, stuff like that in our ear, yelling at us, whatever. So for me, it's just drilling. And that's the biggest thing for me. And that's something that's gotten me where I am now, is just drilling. I made sure that no matter what, going into that event, that I was comfortable and confident in my skills. And there was never a point where I went out where I was like, oh crap, I shouldn't gun battle here or anything like that. I was able to just play. I wasn't in my head thinking anything. I was just able to play paintball. And it's because I put in that amount of work on top of our scheduled practices. I was still going out when it wasn't scheduled and making sure I was drilling by myself or with somebody. Brandon Cornell was honestly a huge person that drilled with me and practiced with me too. He's, like I said, he's my one-on-one person. Him and I play one-on-one very similar. Yeah. And it's always a lot of fun and always super exciting playing him in one-on-one. So that was a big deal, and really just made sure everything that I could as far as myself was on point. And then a huge part of why we did well in Vegas was because we've played together for so long, right? We went into Vegas not as nowhere near as, being the top skill or even like the middle of the pack skill, or so people, would have thought because they didn't know us. And then we went in and you look at it and yeah, we can ball, but at the same time, you saw us winning things and pulling situations out and communicating and doing stuff that you didn't expect us to, because we've played for so long. Right. Like we pulled out multiple low body scenarios that got us to Sunday and got us to, the later round, because we were able to, we were so poised in the chaos, and we just played for each other. And I think that was a huge part of it, was us just playing for each other and wanting to go out and
Hell
do
yeah.
what we could.
That's the only way you're going to be successful, is if you can win those situations that you're not supposed to, because they're going to come up. It's going to happen. And if you guys all believe in each other and do the right things and take the right steps to win those things, communicate, win those gun battles, and make those moves at the right time, you're gonna get those situations that go your way, even though they're not supposed to. Which, like I said, you will not win tournaments if you do not win those kind of crazy situations.
Yep.
You have to pull those out.
Hands down.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to be the one that's standing when the smoke settles.
That's it, baby. You gotta, when the shit hits the fan, you gotta make the most of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So what had happened, because the rest of the year didn't go so well for you guys? So what was your mindset? How was the rest of the year? What do you think the shortcomings were? Why did you guys start to not have as much success?
I know exactly what it was, and it's something that I thought about so much through the season, and it's something that we almost argued about, or we did argue about towards the end of the season. And like second event, we did well again. We made Sunday. I think we went 2-2, but we still made Sunday.
Right.
And then lost first round. But after that, after losing Sunday against Revo, we then went 12 matches, I think, that we lost in a row until Cup, when we went 1-3.
Yeah.
And for me, I think the first layout played great for us. It played perfect to our style of play. The second event, it still played to our strengths, and we were still able to, because if you look back, we never we had the same game plan. We would go to like the 5 closest bunkers. If anything, we might send Mike to Snake, but other than that, we went to 5 closest bunkers. Elevation paintball was sit there and talk and shoot a body or two, and then we would still probably sit there, and then we would shoot like maybe 1 or 2 more bodies, and then we would go.
Yeah.
And as the season goes, and as every season goes, right, it's usually like the first 2 layouts are slow or fast, the next 2 layouts are slow, fast, and then they finish it with a fast one, right? And so as the season went on, and as the layouts changed, our game plan should have changed, and our thought process should have changed, but it didn't. And I remember MAO was very frustrating. MAO was a weird one with that huge brick in the back, and that was just a weird layout. And we had me in the back center, and it was a very weird layout for us, that
the big brick, right?
Yeah. And we got to our first match, and we still didn't know what the hell we were doing. Like we didn't have a game plan in place. We weren't solidified. Like, okay, we're going to do this, that, and the other. We're like, well, I don't know, this might work. And that is that you cannot go into a pro event like that, let alone any event like that, before your first event or first match. And so
you don't want to be working out the kinks out there.
No, you want to be locked in, good to go, smooth sailing.
For sure.
And so MAO was rough. And then going into Chicago, and that's when they started having that snake side with like the race, and then it was just a clusterfuck, right? Just a constant people in and out filling. One person goes in bunkers, the next person goes in bunkers, and just fills.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the personnel for that, right? Like we had Ryan and Mike, but then the only other people on that side are like Hal or Mountain or Augie, and you needed, like, you saw people like Heat that had Chad George and Ryan fill up, but then they had another third person that could fill into the snake and blow open that side, and we really didn't have that. And we never also changed our game plan to accommodate that. And that was something that then followed into the next event too, because it was a very similar layout to that, I think. And we just didn't put it together. And I think it was literally going into our Aftershock match, I was like, we have the wrong game plan. Like, it is not working. We need to do this, that, and the other. And we still kind of went back and forth on it. And we went into it with the same game plan. And I just kind of said, fuck it, and started running down the field and pushing, and we kind of started getting points back. And I think that's the one match that we ended up winning, is because we actually started pushing and going forward at the end of it. But it was just something that I think we were very one-dimensional in our planning and in our game plans, and at the same time I think we got figured out by the league. I think that as a team, as a whole, we played very well together, but we're too one-dimensional, one mindset, one focus, and going up against top pro teams, you're gonna figure that out. You're gonna figure out patterns. And I mean, I went to the same bunker almost every break. You're gonna figure that out. You're gonna shoot me, and you also know I'm going Dorito every time. So it was kind of a thing that we didn't have the IQ and the skill level, I think, at that point, that once people figured us out, that we could contend.
To
And
break through.
I think that showed. I think after the second event, we kind of got figured out, on top of things just not playing to our strength, and us not having the right game plan in place, and it's just kind of how it fell throughout the season.
Yeah.
I did kind of think you guys did it by coming to me, but it was on us. I'm not gonna blame you guys. I can't put the blame on your shoulders.
Wait, hold on. What? That we did by coming to you?
You guys came to me right after the second event after Dallas.
Yeah.
And then I told
that's
you
right.
no. And then all of a sudden we just shit the bed the rest of the season.
Came to you for what?
To pick me up.
Oh yeah, damn, big mistake.
Is that not out there? No.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I got an event under my belt now. You never know what the future holds, but
you're right, you do.
I can't complain. I can't complain with how things rolled out.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like I said before, the universe is perfect, man. It doesn't miss a beat, so everything's right where it needs to be.
It is indeed.
Can't rush anything. You got to let it happen.
That's it, man. Everything will manifest the way it's that it's, it's all set in stone somewhere. It's happening.
Yeah, but real quick, I do. Yeah, like you were on the radar of Dynasty for a reason, though, right? And it comes down to, again, your work ethic. When those conversations were happening, it's all based around your work ethic. You were always at the field. Like you were somebody that, whether you were ready or not, you showed it the first couple events that you were probably ready for a team like Dynasty for our team. But the biggest thing was you were still working so much. And that's what every good pro team wants. It's what every good team wants. Like when, I have players all the time ask, hey, what is the criteria I want to build a Division 4 team? Find 5, 6, 7 players that want to work hard. That's it.
Hey, Marshy,
yes.
If I could ask you, what are the necessary fundamentals for these 5 great paintball players? Like, what do we need out of these guys to have an organization that's going to be successful?
I think 5's too much, to be honest. I think you need one thing, and it is the true desire to get better. So someone who is willing to put in the work. If you're willing to put in the work and you're receptive to criticism, you can build around that. You can fix all of these other issues. We could branch into so many different things of, okay, make sure you're fundamentally sound. Of course you need that. Make sure that you communicate. Of course you need that. Make sure that you're a good team player. But look, it all comes down from the core belief or the core desire to be better. That's what it comes down to. Ego removed. You get players, so many, especially in paintball. I'm sure it's in all sports, but we're in paintball, so I'm going to use paintball, and I'm sure it's highlighted. Young players that feel like they're rock stars, and it's like, bro, honestly, you're pretty terrible. You're good for your division. That's great. But like you're acting like you're Fedorov or something. Can you bring that back to ground level and be hungry to actually get better rather than, and look, I know divisional players are probably the dominant force that listen to our show. And I feel like the last couple times on my Instagram and stuff, I'm calling you guys out. I'm calling you guys out, baby, because I see so many of you that do well, but I see a lot of you that talk and you don't walk. You got to walk. You got to walk. You got to have the action. And so to me, the biggest criteria when I coach teams and I'm trying to put together like a good group, it's, are you hungry?
The willingness to go.
The willingness. And it's the same thing Mike Hinman did. We had Mike Hinman on the show, Ty. That was the same conversation we had with Mike. Forget everything else. Skill, talent, IQ. You could teach that stuff. You cannot.
Hard work beats talent.
You cannot teach tenacity. You cannot teach hunger, heart, dedication.
That's right.
You can't teach that. So if you can get players that all have that, okay, you can work with that. We're headed
somewhere.
You can form something. It might take longer than taking a group of talented players and maybe getting a win right away. But long term, you're building that foundation full of hungry people, hungry players that are always going to do everything they can to get better. They're going to eat better. They're going to work out more. They're going to train more. They're going to drill more. You're going to have a better organization in the long run. So that is the criteria for me, and of course, Ty, you could go into 5, but you only need one. You only need one. Are you fucking hungry?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that heart, that passion for the game and to be
Yeah.
better, the willingness to learn and
Yeah.
go above and beyond, man. Let's
Yeah.
let's do more. Let's not
Yeah.
just do the base level shit, and let's really attack it. You got to attack it.
Yeah, baby.
Hungry
That was
for
a good question, Ty. Thank you for that. That's like very valuable for the listeners, and we talk about it all the time. And I mean, Ty, you're like one of the dude. You inspire me just by fucking looking at you. Like I see the hunger in your eye just from like we show up to the field, and
Yeah.
if I'm feeling tired or lethargic, I see you, and I'm like,
Just look at
nope,
me.
I'm charged. I'm boosted. Like
Yeah.
you're honestly
Hell
probably
yeah.
the best teammate anyone could have because of that. Like you live it so truly that it forces other people to live it because like it's just
Yeah.
so real and raw. It's not just words. You're loud in the pit. You always have a big voice, but the actions follow it,
Mhm.
which is why
Yeah.
it's received so well by everybody on Dynasty. You're one of the vocal
Everybody
leaders.
in general.
Yeah, Tyler's one of the vocal leaders on Dynasty, which is a team that has more experience than any other team in the league. There's people that should be speaking over Tyler for sure as far as experience goes, but no, like we respect it from Tyler because he has that real raw hunger and desire in it, like it's real. You know what I mean? And so
I'm not bullshitting, man. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm here for
yeah.
I'm here.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell it's genuine, just
Yeah.
raw energy coming out of you,
Dude.
man.
And it actually, dude, it's funny that I got this kind of mindset from players like, Zach Long, Chris Lasoya, Todd Martinez, Oliver Lang, and even my boy Ryan. Ryan still inspires me too. He's got a lot of passion for the game as well. And
are you talking about old Greenspan?
Yeah, old Greeny.
Dude, I want to give Greeny a big shout out because we've actually been we've been working him a little bit lately, kind of especially me to been giving a lot of flack.
That's what
on
you
the
do.
show.
That's what you do with your brothers.
That's what you do with your brothers. But yeah, Ryan is just he's a total inspiration. Like, look, if I could still do this at 52 years old, wow.
he's the reason that I have hope of a long paintball career.
That's right.
That's how most people feel. Like he's in the best shape of his life and playing better than he's ever played in his life. And he's always, from day one, he's been like a top 5 player. So it's just kind of crazy how he's like LeBron James, actually, right? Like
let's not give him too big of a head before Cup. He's doing okay.
Let's not put the crown on. All right.
You're right. He's doing okay. What a
he's all right.
I'm putting this out. We're gonna go golf with Anthony Vitale, Kyle Spica. Anthony Vitale is if you guys haven't heard that show, owner of BKI and Boston Paintball, all that. We're gonna go play Torrey Pines October 3rd.
Oh boy.
And I just can't wait to crush Ryan on the golf course. It's gonna be great.
Yes,
because Ryan's kind of good actually, and so it's tight. Like he's someone that I'm like kind of good enough with, where it's real competition. You know what I mean? Like it's like okay,
I love it.
It's fair. It's fair for us to compete. Anthony's good. Yeah, Anthony's good. Apparently, yeah. Anthony's good. Kyle's terrible.
Terrible. I've seen video. I've seen video.
Like he's really bad.
So hold on, you're gonna take Kyle to Torrey Pines?
Yeah, we're all going to Torrey Pines. It's gonna be like $116. I mean, I'm terrible too. I'm garbage. I'm honestly garbage. But it's like,
but it's Torrey. You get to play Torrey.
Yeah, you get to play Torrey. Yeah, I'm terrible. I don't know. I'm kind of good. I don't know. Maybe I'm not garbage. I had bogey golf a couple times, bro. Like that's not bad.
There we go.
No, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Like Corey, you saw, like I was legit. I was making some good shots.
You're a good exec course player.
Yeah, there you go.
You're a good exec course player.
That's a good boost.
But if I transfer that to real, like I just have to be good with the driver, which I was. That's what's so funny is when I went with Maddie on the big course, my driver was fine. It was all of my iron shots. It was all my iron shots, which is what I should be good at because the executive course.
So golf.
Dude, this is so applicable to paintball too, because it's just like paintball. Like if you're not good, the driver is like your off the break shot, right? Dude, if you don't have your driver down, you're off the break shooting. You're not going to be as good in the game. And then the chip is like the mid game. We gotta get this mid game dialed in and get that connectivity. And then we got to put that son of a bitch in.
We got to bunker people and close the game.
That's right. So it's all applicable, you know?
It is. Totally. I love that. I love it.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Corey, I want you to bring us full circle. Bring us toward the last couple of years and then bring us into Vegas. I really want to talk about that as well.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, that was our first pro event, right? So moving into end of our pro year, We had a meeting about what it was going to look like the next year, right? Like we had the same meeting after every year. We had our conference call, and at that point, I had already made the decision that I was leaving the team.
Oh wow.
This was in like November
Yeah.
that we were having it, and I had made the decision because it's very different being on a team where everybody is being compensated or everybody is taken care of. Nobody's paying out of pocket, right? But when and I'm forever grateful to the guys, but it's a different feeling when your homies, your brothers, your family are paying out of pocket for you to play. And then it starts coming up to where you're going to a practice and it's like, oh well, what paint are we shooting? Well, let's shoot 3 instead of 4-star, or let's not get as many cases, or we had to practice one time and I'm like, let's buy 20 more cases, like let's keep playing. And it's like, oh well, it's like, well, that now I feel like I can't necessarily give my input because I'm not the one paying, and
It just stifles the growth.
it doesn't. It's just a very weird situation, and the guys were good about it, right? They never put it on me like, oh, you're not throwing down anyway or anything like that. Like, there was never any type of conversation like that. It's just, for me, I don't like it. I don't like the homies paying out of pocket for you all the
No,
time.
I feel you.
And then that was a big thing when we had our meeting was, this last season, money was kind of tight, or, things were kind of stressful. And it's like, well, you guys can say all you want that it's not a big deal to pay my way, but I just listened to 6 of you saying, money was tight last season and everything like that. And the only thing that really changed from the season before was you guys are completely covering me, and that's coming out of all of your pockets. And then some events we wouldn't bring as many people, so that was even more of a share that they're covering for me. And so I had made the decision at that point that I wasn't going to return to the team for the next season, and we got on the phone, and it was kind of,
hold on, and I'm sorry, Corey, I'm not trying to call you out or anything, but what was the reason that you were not going to return to the team? You're kind of making it out like you didn't want them to pay for you, but at the same time, you had a really good opportunity calling. Like, and
100%.
I'm only mentioning this because,
and I was getting,
I'm only mentioning it because, look, there's players that ask all the time about taking opportunities with other teams, that might be a better situation for themselves, and they they're stuck because they have a group that's with their friends, but they see the writing on the wall, right, of where it's going to be and where it's going to go. And my advice is take the best opportunity for yourself, and so sorry, I'm not trying to call you out. I just wanted to be kind of clear with the viewers. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%. And that was a huge factor, right? And I'll get into that. But it was our meeting to where, like, I was already thinking I was leaving because of that reason, because I'd gotten offered by you guys, and I wanted to get to another team. I wanted to get to a higher level team and see what kind of offers were out there and see what I could do with my paintball career, right? And so, but in that meeting, and I was going to go first, and so I could just get my piece done and let them know, like, I'm not coming back next season, everything like that. And then somebody else started, and it just kind of went. And then literally everybody went and started.
They're like, all right.
Person,
so
right?
now, Corey, what do you think about all this, buddy?
What made it worse? What made it even worse?
I'm taking my ball and going home.
What made it worse is the 2 people before me were Ryan Quaderno and Augie, and both of them quit before me. Both of them,
oh boy.
both of them, because Quad, had gotten married and they were building a house and trying to have a kid and stuff like that. And Augie's daughter just turned 13, right, or 14. She's a teenager. So, and that paintball takes a lot of time. You have kids, Tyler. It takes a lot of time, the weekends and everything. And now she's a teenager. That's a huge point in her life. So,
dude, can I just say one thing? My kid has pissed on the couch so much in the last couple of days. It's blown my mind, dude. It's been so crazy.
Wrap it in saran wrap.
God, yeah. I've been Urine Gone. I should get sponsored by Urine Gone, dude.
I'm sure Ryan can help you out with setting that up.
Yeah, please, Ryan, get me a sponsorship, buddy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But no, so we're on that call, and literally, like, everybody goes and they're like, oh yeah, we're good for next season, but money's tight. And there's literally a theme from everybody: money's tight. And then it gets to Ryan, and Ryan says, I got to do stuff. I can't play next season. And I'm like, shit. Now we're losing Ryan too. I'm like, okay. And then Augie goes, and Augie's like, oh, you know what? I'm not playing next season too. And I'm like, are you guys kidding me?
Oh no.
And they're like, all right, Corey. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Here you go.
Really? You guys got to do that before I go? And I'm like, well,
I'm leaving.
I was like, And they kind of, I think they already had an idea, right? They already kind of knew. I got the offer in the middle of the season, and obviously I brought it to them and talked to them about it. And I think they knew that
Yeah.
I might get an offer and that something was probably going to happen anyway. But it was just so awkward because those two did it. And I don't think anybody thought those two were going to do it. And then I said my piece, and it was just crickets.
Now, Corey,
Yeah.
how do you feel?
Everybody was like processing the information, but it was just dead silent for a little bit. I'm like,
Yeah, of course.
How do you feel as somebody who is a benefactor of leaving a team and going to a more financially supported organization? How do you feel about the differences in paintball? So obviously you have teams that have high budgets. You have the mid-level budgets, you have the high budgets, and you have teams like Elevation, NYX, God, not Boom, NRG Elite, right? Uh, ML Kings, Level, right? You have these Aftermath. You have these teams that don't have budgets to bring in the good players. So how do you feel about that landscape, that dynamic or paradigm in professional paintball, where it seems to happen all the time? All of these teams, the ones we just mentioned, they will have like one or two really good players. They come into the pro division, they have a good year, often off the back of some of these players, and then they get poached to these teams that have the funds, which is like great in a sense. For me, I think it's, well, actually, I don't want to even jade this question. I've talked about it already on the show. How do you feel about that? Like, do you?
I support it. Like, right, I did it, but I wouldn't do it in the middle of a season.
Yeah.
But I would go to, so the way I think about it is, you look in any sport, there are bottom seed teams and there are top seed teams. Top seed teams have a bigger salary cap.
Yep.
Bottom seeds have lower, or whatever the case is, and but at the same time, we don't have a draft. Right.
Yeah.
We don't have players coming into the league that's like, damn, we've seen them through college, we've seen them through divisionals and all that stuff, because for us, like, we don't have all that much line of sight into
We
division
got
stuff that's coming up. And like, if we see a player at Pendleton or something, like,
Yeah.
damn, he's good, right?
we got
But-
the BKI combine, baby.
We
That's
do.
what we got.
Yeah, we got the combine. We have the program. We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're building it. It's not even close
Yeah.
to what it should be, but we're building it.
No, you're
Right.
right.
But it's on its way. It's something, right? But at the same time, you have to have that. You're going to have those lower teams that essentially, right, you have those two people. That's the goal, right? To make it to a top team, to
Yeah.
make it towards that.
Totally.
I don't think Elevation, any of the guys, faulted me whatsoever for even thinking about coming to you guys mid-season or leaving at the end of the season, because honestly, for us, that was the goal. We knew that was the goal. Us as a goal was to make pro, right? That was the goal for us to make pro. We did that. But if you look at these teams, there are teams that are going to be at the bottom 5, probably every event, right?
Right.
It's going to happen. And that was Elevation. Besides the 2 events that we did good, after that, we were bottom 5. And that did not change for the last 3 events. But you look at players like me, Mike, Augie could have gotten picked up. Ryan should have, I think. But it's players that put in that heart, because if you look at any of those teams and you look at Elevation, for example, me and Mike were the 2 people that put in the absolute most work on that team. Look at the 2 that are still
Mike Arena.
Look at the 2 that are still playing paintball and are now on another team and are doing well and succeeding, right?
So the argument
ahead.
to that, though, Corey, is look, those teams have folded, right? Elevation's no longer a team. Arizona no longer has a pro team to look up to and aspire. So for the community, that's really bad. And I'm with you. Like I'm with you. I also agree. I'm like, look, if players can sit there and go through the ranks and they, in their minds, they say, if I can make it to Impact or Houston Heat and I can actually make a legit salary, that's worth it, right? So if there's teams that are offering it, like in one breath, I'm like, yes, that's amazing. Let's do that.
Mhm.
But in another breath, I'm also like, damn, but we're killing teams in the markets that we need professional teams. NYX,
Right.
like how many players can get poached from NYX before they fold? They say, why are we doing this? Why are we still having a team? We can't win. Our good players keep getting taken. So we don't have a team. And now in that whole region, there's no pro team. So guess what? Paintball dies. It's absolutely a fact that when you don't have a pro team in the region, tournament paintball tends to fizzle out. And that's just the reality of things. And that's why, back when they, they added from 16 pro teams to 20. The whole conversation was, oh, what the hell? Why are we allowing these 4 pro teams? They're not worthy, this and that. I said, dude, stop it. It's not about if they're worthy. We're building paintball in that region. Like we're building a team in a region where players can idolize and say, that's what I want to be. I want to get to that stage. So it's really tough for me. I don't know. And I don't know what the answer is, but there's definitely an issue with just poaching.
I don't know that there's a clear answer on it.
No, there
honestly.
isn't. Of course,
I don't think there is. 'Cause it also depends on the situation.
Yeah,
I think.
totally.
Right? 'Cause
Totally.
if you have a team like, let's say 187 went up and did decent, right? They had every single player on that team was committed, put in the same amount of effort. They were out there every weekend to where, and not to throw anybody under the bus whatsoever, but on elevation, we did not have the same
Right.
amount of
Right.
effort that was being put in by every single player, right? And you start to look at that, and you know that if that was different, if every single player was putting in the same amount of effort,
Right.
and I
Totally.
could see it continuously improving and getting better,
Yeah.
then that would be a much more of a push to stay with your squad, stay with it, push and see what you can do. But if you continue to look at how things are going and you continue to look at your situation, and
Mhm.
it's
Totally.
you know that it's not going the direction that you want, then you also have to make a decision for yourself.
Yeah, you just get to a point financially though too. Even if the team you're with elevation, if you're all doing the right things and you're winning, you're still paying. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm
And
talking about. Like, how could you not? As a paintball player, if you've dedicated to being a pro player, you sacrifice so much: school, parties, friendships, birthdays, family. You sacrifice so much to really reach the upper levels in pro paintball. Like, I get it if you want to get the paycheck. Like, I get it. You've earned it. You've done it. So if there's a place that makes it more affordable for you, and like, I totally get that,
And Corey, I think that's a very respectable answer. I think that you really hit it on the head there. Like, if everyone is showing that drive and that passion, and we see growth and we see development, we see, oh, we have a vision here. We have a lane. We could travel this lane. We could be an effective pro team. Hey, shit, maybe even the dream is that we can get that big salary if we're good enough, and we can acquire that and manifest that. Then I say, yes, by all means, we got to stick together and we got to follow that. Now, on the flip side of the coin, if you're in that organization, we don't see that drive, we don't see that passion, we don't
You're
see
gonna
that
run out.
lane. We've got to navigate into area. And for yourself, I'm speaking of you, like you had that, that's where you were headed. That's what you want is pro paintball. You want to win tournaments. You want to be the best in the world. And if you're not in an organization that is producing that, then by all means, we've got to get you in an organization that's going to produce that. If you can't do it with your own camp, and by God, I hope you can do it with your own camp, and I hope that everybody takes it on their shoulders to do that. But yeah, it's a very difficult situation, because we got to make sure that that we're all traveling in the same direction, and looking for the same thing. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to get picked apart, because there's people that are not doing the work, and they're not really trying to navigate the territories to get to that destination of being the best in the world. So it's hard, dude. It's a really hard one.
Yeah, and by no means is it an easy decision.
No,
Right.
no.
Right? Like when you guys had come to me in the middle,
Yeah.
for that 2 weeks through whatever it was, like I was going crazy, honestly crazy. I was so stressed out, like in my head, going back and
Yeah.
forth. And
For
then
sure. Because
even
it's a huge decision. It's a life-changing decision.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then even leaving them at the end of the pro season, when, the
Mhm.
season's over, people were even then, it's just it's
Yeah.
it's tough,
Yep.
man. It's
And
tough.
then so walk me through how that all went, and then you moving forward, and where you're headed after that.
Yeah, so dude, I honestly thought I wasn't playing paintball last season either
Oh,
when Ironman
wow.
picked me up. So we have our meeting,
Dude.
I leave Elevation, and then I like knew nobody knew, right? So I had talked to Maddie and beforehand, and Maddie went on Go Sports and actually put a thing out. So I was like, oh, Corey Hall left Elevation.
Oh, no
Da, da,
way.
da. And I was like, well, okay, maybe like it's out there, maybe I'll hear something from people, like
Mhm.
see what happens. And just straight crickets. Like I heard
Yeah.
nothing. I heard nothing through November, through December. I actually hit up Rusty because you
Yeah.
guys hit him up, and I think it took me like 3 weeks just to get him on the phone.
Yeah.
But finally got him on the phone, and I was at like a work thing, so I had to run outside real quick. And he's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh, hey, just wanted to talk real quick, let you know where my head's at." And he's like, "Okay, well, we're about to have a meeting in the next couple of weeks, and then I'll give you a call." It's like, "Okay, sweet." Nothing. Never heard from him.
Rusty.
Never got a call. Never got a text. Never heard anything from him or anybody on the squad. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then that's when Kyle, I think it was like December, if not early January. So like I literally thought I wasn't playing. I didn't hear anything. And then
Yeah.
end of December, January, Kyle hits me up about playing with the squad.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, it's dope. You know, Cosmic is coming up to me telling me I was playing decent and I deserved to play for a team and da da da. So I was like, hell yeah. I was like, okay. But I was transparent. I was very transparent with Kyle at the same time too. I was like, well, honestly, like you've played for Dynasty. I was like, to be honest with you, I was like, I did talk to Rusty. I talked to him on the phone. I was like, that I've already talked to him and they came to me in the middle of the season. I'm going to see what happens. And so I pretty much was still talking to Kyle. And like 2 weeks passed and they're like, so what's going on? And I didn't hear anything. So I was like, okay. So I started talking to Kyle and I was like, I like it. Like I'm down, but I also find it weird that you're the one talking to me and not the coach. Cause I haven't been in the pro league. I don't know how all this works, but for me, like if a team wants me or is interested in me, I want to talk to the coach. I want to see that like, I'm gonna like the situation as well, right? And if you want me, then I feel like we should talk. And literally the next day, Todd called me. We talked on the phone for like 30, 45 minutes. And I think I talked to him once or twice a week, if not 3 times a week from then on for the next couple of weeks. And I kind of put him to the side and I was like, I'm honest. And I was transparent with him too. I was like, I talked to Rusty already. Like I'm kind of waiting. And 2 weeks had passed and I heard nothing. And so I was like, let's do it. I was like, I'm gonna know about it, and I liked, what he had to say, and I liked what he was about, and what the team was going to be about for the season. And
bro, are you kidding me? You're talking about Cash Money Millionaire Todd
Exactly.
Martinez, baby. I want to pick your brain on him, as well. What's it been like playing for Cash Money? Todd is the man. One of my, like I told you before, one of my inspirations for my passion and my love for the game comes from Todd. Watching him growing up, that guy is a rock star.
Oh, 100%. And for me, it was something to get used to because I never had a coach ever.
Yeah.
Never had a coach.
And then to have Cash Money be your coach is a whole nother ball game.
He's a very emotional person. He wears his heart on his sleeve and he coaches with that emotion, and he expects a lot out of you because of what he put into it. And that was something to get used to. He definitely yells at us a lot, but it's coming from a place of where he wants us to be better. He wants perfection, and he wants us to go out, and if we do something incorrectly, he's going to tell us and make sure that we know. And I think the aspect of just having a coach and because honestly on Elevation, I really didn't get that much constructive criticism on what I did. If I get shot out, if I was going somewhere, if different stuff happened, I'd come off. We started talking about the next point, and that was it. And so
you got to have that. You have to.
Coming on to Ironman, I don't know how many times I got yelled at.
Tear him down.
Tear it down. Alone, like for Arizona, for so many people, like it's a kill count. You say kill 1, kill 2. It's very easy to get used to. Like kill, it's very distinct. You can hear it. But man, for me, LJ, Thomas, like we came on to Ironman, and Ironman has to call G's.
Yeah.
You have no idea how many push-ups we had to do after every split because we kept saying kill 1, kill this, kill that.
Yeah.
And I think after
I gotta say, kills are more efficient. You know why? Well, I'm not even going to tell you. You're on the opposing.
You don't even have to argue it. You don't even argue.
I used to always be a fan of G's, right? But you don't say G the Cali because it doesn't carry. But you can say kill the Cali. You can get the kill count and the position that it came from more efficiently. I'm super anal about everything, dude. I'm all about efficiency, and I try to trim the fat in any way possible. And I have also come around to the kill instead of G's. But
I honestly loved it. We tried to get him to switch when we first got on the team last year, and they were like, no, Ironman are historically say G. That's why we say G. I was like, okay, so we're gonna get used to it.
So you have to say G1 from orange.
G1, G2, G out of this. Has to be a G.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because Cash Money is a G.
So, that's right.
We can't wait. We're gonna have Todd on the show. I can't wait. Todd's he's just such an iconic. He was an iconic player, commentator, coach. I mean, he's literally just the embodiment of passion and dedication and love. Like I love Todd Martinez. He's the man. He's actually one of the first pros that I ever met too. I've known Todd since I was like 12 years old. He kind of took me under his wing as a young kid. I have a World Cup. This is funny. I have my sandana that I wore. I had 2 sandanas. One of them had got lost a long time ago. The other one I've had since I was about 14 years old. Todd Martinez gave it to me. And I don't even know if he remembers this because I was such a child. I've only pulled it out. I wore it consistently for a long time. I retired it after our 2008 World Cup win. And then I pulled it out a few times since. Every single time I pulled that bandana out, I swear to God, it was weird. We won the tournament. The last time that I pulled it
Well,
out,
get that son of a bitch out.
dude,
Keep pulling it out. What are you
listen.
doing?
So Mouse's mom had to sew it up like 3 times. Anyway, the last time that I wore it was World Cup 2015. I wore a beanie all season, and then at World Cup I pulled it out. We won. I feel like I had a pretty good event, but I had 2 major holes blown in it that were bigger than I've ever seen. But it's so big, so I'm like, okay, it's time to retire. It's sitting in my shelf right now. It has half of it is not together. So I'm like, but it's from Todd Martinez, Cash Money. This is my
That's
guy,
something you
dude.
hold on to.
Yeah, hold on
Yeah.
to 100%. Like just a
Dude, one of the most iconic styles in all of paintball.
yeah.
I just have this picture of Todd playing for Dynasty with his Cash Money
Headband.
do-rag, the whole deal, bro. He looks
Blue
so
do-rag,
cool.
yes.
Yeah. He's the best. So yeah,
Oh,
major love for Cash Money, and you know, he's just such a legend in the game. You're so lucky to have him in your corner.
And honestly, that was a huge piece for me too, in deciding to go to the team, because when they didn't pick me up, like I said, that was kind of a mind fuck, right? They didn't pick me up,
Yeah.
and that was a choice for me of to not play or to keep pushing, and then to come to the team. I kind of, at the beginning, I was kind of like, you know what, like I tried out for the team, you guys didn't want me. Why am I going to come to the team now, type deal. And I thought about it more, and kind of what helped me get to the skill level that I was at is because I didn't make the team. And so I went back to the drawing board. I kept drilling, I kept working. And so I also kind of knew that if I joined the team, that's also what's going to be expected of me, right? Todd's going to expect more of me, and he's going to push me to be better. And honestly, that first season I played with them last season, obviously I missed the first event, just nonsense. But the second event, I played decent. The second event, we made Sunday. But as the season went on, I hurt my knee, but my play time got shorter and shorter, less and less as the season went on. And then I think at Cup, I played one match. I think I played all of 5 points at Cup. And so that sucked. I went from playing on elevation to playing every single point, whether it be practice, whether it be the tournament, whatever, playing every single point, to my play timing going lower and lower and lower as the events went on. And that it was definitely hard. It's a position I wasn't used to being in. And then at the same time, I also thought I was playing okay enough to be playing. And I wasn't. So that was kind of a mind thing. And then I would get put in, but
it completely throws off your flow. The paintball is such a game of flow, and in order to be an effective paintball player, you have to get into a good flow, and you have to have reps. And when you're not getting those reps, it just doesn't get you in the right flow state to be able to be as effective as you possibly can be.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a big thing. But one of the things too, and going back to Todd as a coach, he's he's a big sports person. You guys,
hell yeah,
huge basketball person, right? So his basketball analogies. So me and LJ we're all that big into basketball. Like, we'll watch playoff basketball, but as soon as we got on the squad, just basketball analogies out the ass, just throwing them at us. And once you kind of go, like, it grasps onto like the meaning of them and what he was trying to do, and he still puts like videos and different stuff in here. And so, like, for me, even though I didn't play a lot last season, and it was kind of a mental game and something I had to push past and get used to, he was still doing these things to continue to push me to want to be better, to have that drive and have that fire still lit under me, to where even though I'm not playing and I'm kind of in my own head about why I'm not playing, it didn't affect me wanting to be better. And it wasn't only just being better for myself, it was being better for the team. Because obviously, if I'm not in right now, if I'm not part of that starting 5, then I'm not doing my job well enough to help the team. So not only do I need to improve my skill and myself for my game, but for the team as well. And so I kind of just took that, and a big thing for me was my aggression that I didn't have last season. And for me, it is kind of a thing getting into a groove, and it's easier for me to be aggressive once I'm into a groove and kind of going through stuff. But that and my communication and some different stuff were a big thing that I worked on throughout the off season and then going into Vegas. And
How did you work on communication? What was your process for that? Because again, Ty, we talk about this at every clinic we go to.
Yeah.
Communication's massive. So how did you work on, what's your process for working on communication?
Honestly, I don't think it's anything specific. I think it's just something that it's almost like it's riding a bike. It's something that after every event, when we're not together with the squad, you almost seem like we would lose it a little bit until you get there for the event. You got your bunker names and you start going. But for us, it was really the conversations that we started to have outside of points that would really help our communication get put together. And it was more so those conversations that led us to knowing which person needed to know which information first, which person was looking at that information, which person could miss it. And then that's when you start, because a lot of divisional communication, I feel, is just a lot of screaming. It's a lot of yelling. Oh, he's back left, back left, back left, back left, back left. To where in pro, if you start looking at the communication and the conversations that are happening, obviously you guys know, but it's literally back left. Okay, back center shooting this way. The back center can't see this. Okay, Marcelo, I'm going to put this guy in, use the blind to move up to the next. That's the conversation. That's the communication piece rather than just screaming what's going on. Where bunkers are, it's actually talking to the person next to you, having that two-man operation conversation, and then being able to get it across field and knowing who is in a place to get it across field. And that was a big thing too, is with Vegas, our center person, we'd have one back center, but then the closest person to the side guys was A-Rod all the way up in the 50, and he's fishing, so he's not talking a lot. So we really had to figure out, and sometimes it depends on the field, what is going to work effectively communication-wise, and who needs to know the important information first is also huge. Because if 50 snakes hot, I don't necessarily snake corner. He doesn't necessarily need to know first. I need
That's
to tell
right.
whoever's like 300. I need to tell whoever's like in the 300 or the 400 is about to get ear holed by the snake that, hey, tuck in. And okay, once I see him tight, then I'm going to turn, make sure everybody else knows. I'm screaming loud enough that just by me talking to him, everybody should know. But I'm going to make sure now that everybody else knows after the most important person knows that bit of information.
For
So I
sure,
think
dude.
it's different stuff like that, but I don't think like we don't necessarily do anything off the field or with our bunker codes or anything like that. I think it's just more so figuring out the important communication.
That's right. That's the high level communication that it takes to win tournaments is, like you said, having the awareness to know where the information needs to go. And then also, I really like that you hit on the two-man operation and also talking about that as well. This is high level communication for all of our listeners out there. It's, the G count, ball count, that's great, where the body plays, but it's high level, really constructive thinking between you and your buddy who you're out there with, your boy that you're ride or dying with. You guys got to put this together and really formulate a good vision of what's happening. Where are they shooting? How can we navigate? That high level communication is, breaking down the game and figuring out how are we going to win this? How are we going to create the reality of winning this tournament? It's not just going to happen by chance. And yeah, maybe 25% it does, but the other 75%, you got to take that into your hands and make that happen. That's where it's at.
Yep.
Yeah, baby. Okay, so then now bring us into we're coming up into Vegas here, right? Now how, please just walk me through Vegas. I'm not gonna lie, y'all surprised me. Okay, that was crazy.
Everybody.
Yeah, and
yeah. I mean, honestly, it started before practice happened. I think it started before we for sure had A-Rod. Because A-Rod called me. A-Rod called me the last couple seasons before everything started, but he called me this season and he hadn't made his decision yet. And it was like, what's happening with the squad? What is Todd like right now, and what is the team like? What is the commitment level? What is everybody's? What's going on? And I told him, I was like, how I am, right? I'm going to be out there. I'm going to grind for it. How much work I put in. Everybody on this team is like that. Every single one of us. And I honestly, if you look at another
all right, hold on. Do y'all hear that out there? Please take notes. Okay. Listen up. Everyone's working. Everyone.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah. And honestly, I think if you look at other pro teams in the league, you don't have that. You don't have every single individual on that squad working like that. You might have one or two or three, but you do not have every single individual putting it. We were doing 2 times a week during the week, drilling at Die. People are drilling out in Florida, and then we would have our 2 days, and we would be the very first people to get there and the last people to leave. And so that was a big thing for A-Rod coming over. He asked me, he's like, what is everybody's commitment level? I was like, we're about it, dude. Show up and we'll show you. And literally that was it. From day one, we kind of set the precedence, and it was a big thing having him and Nick on the squad, because both of them have won before, and they came into it like, we've won before, you guys haven't, but it doesn't mean you can't. It just means we have to work for it. It means we're going to have to work harder than everybody else, and it starts now. And if you guys are willing to do that, and we do that from start to finish, then we're going to be in a good position.
And the thing is that they brought you the opportunity to have something to believe in and to buy into. And when you have that and everybody gets on board, magical things happen, dude.
Yes. And I what you just touched on, the belief. Honestly, they came onto the team and believed in us.
Yeah.
They didn't come on thinking, oh, you know what, these are the lower players. It was a whole rebuild, It was the 4 players plus Al from the previous season that they picked up, and then we picked up 3 or 4 more.
Hey, and major shout out to Al, by the way, someone who is very underrated because he's not out there
100%.
in the open. Al is such a good paintball player and just an amazing teammate too. I love Al to death. But major shout out to Al. He honestly has one of the best moments in paintball that I've ever seen in my life, and it was last year Vegas when you weren't there
against
Houston Heat to win the match. He is out of paint in the center brick, and he just starts picking up paint. He
jumps over bunker.
He has 2 paintballs that he picks up off the ground. Two paintballs. He puts one in his loader. Well, he puts them both in. He has 2 paintballs that he picks up, and he makes this crazy run, which he was engaging with Chad George, who was at the 50 Snakes. So Chad knew where he was. He makes this crazy inside run, jumps over, shoots 1 paintball, bunkers Chad, and then goes and forces, I don't know who was playing the corner for them.
Fedorov.
It was Fedorov?
It's Fedorov. He comes and shoots Fedorov.
My God. And then he comes and snap shoots Fedorov in the Dorito corner to win the point, which won the match. Dude, he
literally did that, and I think I made a post after too. I was like, he's literally one of the most underrated players in the league.
Oh, for sure. It's not even close. I've said that for a long time. He's so underrated, and he's so
not anymore.
Shout out, Al.
I guarantee you, unfortunately, he will still be underrated because he's not flashy. He shoots people from the back. He does a job. He communicates. He doesn't do anything that's going to get a lot of recognition. But that play is truly one of the best plays, one of the best moments I've ever seen in paintball. I've been doing this a long fucking time. That was crazy. That was crazy.
2 paintballs.
Yeah. And the know-how to pick up 2 good paintballs. 2 good paintballs.
2 paintballs. Hold on. You're in the middle of the field too. You're in the middle, so you have a disadvantage. The other team is in the corner and the Snake 50. You're at a major disadvantage. You're in the middle of the field. You pick up 2 paintballs. You use one of them to bunker one of the best snake players to ever do it. And then you use the last one to snap shoot one of the best players to ever play. I mean, that's just crazy. That's fucking crazy. I literally watched it and was like, dude, Al, my guy. I love Al so much, man. Al's just a dumb. He's such a good dude. And
there we go. Let's go, Al.
He's one of the people that I was super excited for us to get the win and everything. Totally. He's out of the squad. He's the longest running one on the team.
He's loyal. He's loyal.
Yeah, he's seen so much go in and out on that team and been through so much on the squad.
Yeah, that's right.
To get the win with him was awesome, because him and I had a talk. At the end of Cup, it's like, all right, man, let's get after it in this off season, and let's work. Let's get ready for next season. And
I love it. He's always got the greatest support crew on the sidelines. Huge shout out to the support crew over there. They're always rocking over there.
Was out there for Vegas too. We got to meet a bunch of them. It was cool.
Yeah, that's right.
It was super cool. It was super cool for him to have his family out. I had a couple of friends out there. 3 friends from Arizona came out and watched. So it's funny. My buddy, he says he's batting 1,000. Every event he's come to, I've won.
Ah, there we go.
But he already bought his Cup flight. So
oh, there we go.
So then you guys aren't going to show up.
Yeah.
I'm showing up.
You're going to be the only one out there.
Ironman is playing paintball.
Ironman.
Yeah.
Ironman.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Dude, yes. We the league needs you guys out there. And
But at
you
the
got to
same
defend this title.
at the same time too, I actually do look. This is one of those things that goes back to what I was saying about the whole COVID thing. I also understand if you
It's
guys don't,
delicate.
like I understand if
Yeah.
there's players that don't want to put themselves in that. World Cup could be dicey, a lot of players, a lot of
Yeah.
people that want to come up, and like I get it either way, you know what I mean?
And
And
that's why I
yeah.
think we have to have like our own entrance
Yeah,
in
Ty,
to
we
and just play
right.
the game and
Right.
get back,
We talked about this, and actually, we're gonna talk to Tom Cole, right? Because I plan on sending him an email about this. But
Yeah,
pro players interact with everyone there.
for
If you
sure.
walk through the pit, you have multiple people that are like, "Hey, oh my God, Marcel, hey, can I get a picture? Can I get this? Can I get that?" And so
I don't have that problem.
the
Correct.
you're gonna now you're the winner of the last event, and
Yeah.
well, you won't have the problem if you don't show up, but.
Yeah.
But But pro players have that it's not a problem. I love it. I love it more than anything. When we're at events, I love
Yes.
meeting everybody. I love
That
meeting
gift.
players.
It's a
It's a
gift.
gift. It truly is
Yeah.
the most humbling thing of what we do, and I love it. I truly do. I love to meet the players we get to meet. But
Yeah.
during these times, okay, if we meet someone, then we meet 15 other people that and for God forbid we have COVID, we're passing it along. We interact with so many people. It's not smart for us to be forced in that situation. So I think for the first time ever, pros should have their own entrance to the field. There should
Just
be an
straight
entrance
into the
from
field.
the parking
Yeah.
lot straight to the pro field, so we get in, get out. Obviously, there's going to be no autograph signings this year. There's not going to be anything like
That's
that,
yeah.
and it just is what it is. Like again, this goes back to I'm so thankful we have World Cup, but it's going
Yeah.
to look different than it has, and it just is what it is. Like at least we have the event. We don't need to make such a big deal over it, but I do think that the pros should have their own entrance this time,
Mhm.
to where it's not enticing. We're not tempted by all of the greetings because again, the worst thing that could happen for
Dude,
paintball is
you have to
that
walk
the
through.
worst thing that could happen for
Yeah.
paintball is that a big outbreak that ends up killing some grandmas or some fathers or even younger people um, gets traced back to the World Cup of paintball. That's the last thing we need as an
Yeah.
organization, and that's looking at it selfishly. That's just for our own interest. It's also terrible. You don't want to lose it. You don't want to kill anybody. You don't want that blood on your hands. So look,
Yeah.
the pros are the ones that are interacting and have the ability to spread it the most. We should definitely have our own entrance. We need to do as much as we can to be safe and have it done well. And
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna send Tom. So I assume that they would be on board. I don't know why they would not be on board or something like that, but
It wouldn't be very hard. You just have
yeah, oh, it'd be easy,
open up.
total,
Yeah.
easy,
And
piece of
then
cake.
yeah, because otherwise, dude, I'm telling you, when I walk through the whole show and the whole deal, I
You can't go
see
20 feet.
20, 30. Dude,
You
it's just
cannot go
yeah.
20 feet. And it's great.
Yeah.
Again, like I love it. I love
Of
seeing
course.
everybody. World Cup is like the grand reunion of all the teams that I've coached over the season in foreign countries, clinics, events that I've gone to, people that don't know you. They come like it's just an amazing and beautiful. There's magic in the air. World Cup's the best. We're gonna need to find new ways to make it the best for this year. We'll get back to
Yeah.
what it was, but this year we need to be smart and safe. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So dude, walk me through that Russians match.
Yes.
I need to hear about this and how that all played out from the pits inside out.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I going into the Russians match, like me personally, I've never felt so focused. So
Yeah.
just like on point,
Laser.
not like I had nothing on my mind, not a care. Like I was just so, and honestly, I think a huge point of it to plug Transfuse again was the transcend that they
There
gave.
we go.
I had that before the Revo match, which is one of the
Yeah.
best matches I've ever played. And then literally I felt it like kick back up before the finals match. And I was literally just so focused, like my hearing was on, like, I don't know. I just felt so like locked in.
Yeah.
And then I start looking around at everybody and you just get like the same feeling when you look at everybody else, the looks in their eyes, how they're carrying themselves, what they're doing. They're just so focused on like the game, not necessarily having like these side conversations. And then, we're going into it. And I feel like for me, especially being my first pro finals on top of playing against the Russians, I should have had like butterflies or I should have felt some sort of way. But not once like did it cross my mind that like holy shit I'm playing the Russians. or holy shit, I'm playing in the finals. Like I feel like it would have or should have, but it just like that thought never entered my mind. And so we're getting ready and we're stretching and everything, and I'm feeling that way. And then everybody kind of takes off their headphones and you kind of see everybody just like in the same spot. And then Nick and A-Rod, we had talked about the whole time, like, if we put in the amount of work that we say we're going to, and we stick to the game plan, and we buy in, then we have a chance. And now we were at it, and they were like, this is it, guys. Like this, like, I want to end this looking at all of your faces smiling, because that's what it's all about, right? At the end of the day, like, we don't win all that much from paintball. We don't win that much money. We don't, like, everything we have is, like we talked about earlier, the traveling, the your brothers that you play with. And so, like, literally you win, and it's really just that feeling that overcomes you, and looking around to everybody smiling afterwards, and it's that you're looking forward to. And they've both had that, and none of us have really had that. And so, they just kind of talked about that, and really just, again, showed that they believed in us and knew that we were capable of doing it. And we got done stretching, and we went in, and we already had our game plan for the Russians. We knew they kind of like to push the middle, because we practiced them, the
I
weekend
remember
right
watching
before.
those. I watched those games. Yeah.
Yeah. And they won probably majority of the points that weekend. But I think things were going so well for us, we didn't let what they did at practice get into our head or anything. And so we went into that knowing kind of what they were going to do, but also knowing what worked so well for us. Like, not once ever did we change A-Rod's gun, right? Like, why would we? I think he shot somebody 90% of the time or something.
Yeah.
And then same with Thomas. Thomas had a read off of his shot whether he
Thomas
was going to
played
go deep.
so good. I think he actually
Thomas,
his performance didn't get recognized.
underrated
Yeah,
performance.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The bunker he
yeah.
played, how he
That was
played
the
it,
hardest
the
bunker to
role
play.
of position,
That was the
by far.
hardest bunker to play on the whole field, and he
By far.
played it so damn well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've gotten so much credit, and I'm like, I had the easiest job on the field, I swear. Like, based off LJ, Thomas, A-Rod doing his thing, and Nick having to lock down Dorito side, like, I think I had the easiest job out there. But, we're going into it, and we had that game plan. We knew what was working for us. We knew the shots that worked for us, and they continued to work. And I mean, it's the same shot that worked for Russians, and that's how they got there, is shooting the snake guy. But then you look at it, and nobody really pushed wide snake side in the finals. And when they did, we usually shot them, right? We didn't do that. We didn't really risk that body out wide on the snake side, because we knew it was so lethal. And I think that played a huge part in us having that body alive, and then kind of being able to start chewing them up, getting a body off break. And they honestly, they played into what we thought they were going to do. We were able to shoot the wide guy, and then we were able to maintain the middle, and A-Rod was able to start going up and doing his job. And I think if we didn't go up 4 points, it would be a different story. But I think, and that's kind of how we played the entire event. We played go, 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 to where if we made a mistake, we were up points, and it didn't matter. We almost allowed ourselves to make mistakes by how we played, because we played it fast. And so we were always going forward. We were always for points. So even if teams, we would put up 2 points. So even if a team put up 1 point and it was a quick point, we were coming back and we were scoring 1, 2, 3 more points after that. And so that I mean, if you look at the X Factor match, it's exactly what we did against them. Revo, we started that way, but they kind of countered it, and we went back and forth with them. Russians, that's exactly how we started. We came out strong and went up 4 points against them, which was huge. But then you look at the clock at the end of having 4 points, and there was still a lot of time left, especially for the Russians, who were famous for scoring a 9-second point.
They kind of
Because
started as well too. They kind of did, but not really.
they started to get on it and started to
Yeah.
push at those 4 points, and they started to bring it back. And what Nick and A-Rod were really good about is us, like, nobody got it in their head that they were making a comeback. That, oh shit, Russians are coming. Like, nobody had that look on their face. Nobody had that feeling. We came in and we're like, this is why we just lost that fucking point too quick. These people went here, like, I got shot doing this, or they shot me this way. No matter what, we were always coming in with productive feedback for Todd, and we were able to make those adjustments. So even when Russians started to put points up on the board, going back to the point I made, they put up 2, and then we'd put up 1. So we're still up 3, and then they put up 1, and then we'd put up 1. Then they put up 2, and then we put up 1 more, So it's like,
Yeah.
yes, they would start to make a comeback, but because of how we were playing, we were always bringing that next point back again to keep that lead. And
Well, these fields they really reward that high intensity play. These new fields that they've been creating, you know.
yeah, and we knew at that point that obviously they were going to start pushing, right? It's the Russians. We knew Karslev was just going to come like a rocket down the Dorito side, just running down it as fast as he could. Kirill was going to keep coming up the center like he was, and Berdnikov was probably going to either come up with him at the center, or possibly try to get something going on the snake side because Smotrov was kind of struggling. We were shooting out Smotrov quite a lot. And they started to come back, but the big thing was knowing how much time was left and knowing our paintball and sticking to our game plan and making the little adjustments, knowing that Karslev was about to come down the D side. So what we changed for me at that point after a couple points that we lost is a lot of time I was just going to the Dorito one, looking inside because we'd catch Kirill coming up the center, or we'd kept Smotrov delaying into the snake wing. And so since we knew Karslev was just going to start running down the D side, we switched me to heads up with Nick still over there, and that kind of slowed him down. And there was a couple points, and I've talked about it a couple times, but there was a couple points that Karslev is just coming, and I swear, like I put paint on him, and he dives, and I see the ref like, and then clean, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I came in the first time, I was like, and we lost the point. I got shot, and I'm like, dude, I swear I shot him. He's like, all right, go back out there, second point. I felt like I shot him again. The next time he comes running down, I felt like I shot him, and there was a couple points in there, like I hurt my shoulder, came out for a point, Al went in, and then I came out for the next point, and then I shot one more. And then at that last point when I went in, I was like, I swear the last point I shot him, and I was like, dude, I know, like I've shot him twice, and I swear, like at least what I'm seeing, my paint's going into him, he's diving, and then he's clean. I was like, I promise I'm shooting this guy. And Todd went to the ref and was like, hey, like, you guys know they do this, right? Karslev always runs down the D side on like you have to watch them. You have to pay attention to what they're doing. And the ref's like, okay, told his guy. And sure enough, and you can see it in the webcast, you see Karslev go to make his move, you see me shoot him, and then you see as he's sliding in, I shoot him again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
The ref saw him get shot and then dive and then get shot again, and that's what calls the penalty, because this time they were looking for it, made my shot again, they called the penalty, and then I just waited for the dust to slide. It was kind of craziness because at that point I didn't know how many people were left because that was the very last point. We were 7-5 with time running out, and the way I look at it too, we were up 7-5, and there was 49 seconds left, I want to say, and they would have won that point, I think, in like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. So they would have been down one with 35 some odd seconds left with momentum and being Russians.
Yeah.
And instead they get that penalty, and I'm sitting there just trying to count bodies in my head because I see us just peeling off. I see them peeling off. I know we had Sergey come through the center and somebody shot him, and I knew I just shot Karslev and he got a penalty. So I'm like, okay, well, that's 1 or 2. I don't remember what penalty they threw up, but I was like, that's 1 or 2 in my head. We shot Sergey, so that's at least 4. And I look inside, and Golev's just standing there on Snake. And I didn't know if he got shot. If you already shot Golev, I'm sorry, but he's just standing there, and I turn and shoot him real quick, and I'm like, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 with the penalty. Okay, I was like, there might be 5. So I literally just like knelt down for a second, and I'm just like listening for somebody to shoot, for somebody to move. I'm like keeping my eyes on the refs for them to do something, and I'm just sitting there waiting. And then that's when I hear from the stands saying it's over, Ironmen won, and I just lost my shit.
Dude, walk me through that. What's the first thing that processes? How are you feeling, dude?
It was weird because like I had told Maddie, I had a dream the night before that I was the last one on the field.
Whoa.
But like all good dreams, like it didn't end. Like I never saw the scoreboard. I never saw anything. I just know that like I was on the field at the end, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know if we lost, what the case was. So it was a very surreal moment of almost just like,
it is. It's so surreal.
Holy shit, is this happening? Like, is this like, and then like I'm sitting there waiting, and somebody says that, and I just start skipping down the field. I black
skip
out.
to my Lou, baby.
I'm not the person. Like I'm not the person to do that usually. Like I'll usually just kind of put my gun down and walk off the field. But stands were there, and I got hyped. I did it during the the Revo match as well. Usually I just walk off, but I was pretty
that's
hyped.
your time.
Yeah, I mean,
that's your time.
He said it, and yeah, I just started skipping down the field, and as I turned, the stands went nuts, and yeah, it was an absolutely incredible feeling. I can't even
The
describe
best in the
it.
world.
I
There's
think about
nothing
it, or I
better
go
than
and watch it, and I just like I get that feeling again.
yeah. It's the
That's one
best,
thing
dude.
that's been nice through quarantine. I at least have something nice to watch, but at the same time now I'm so over watching it, and I've broken down so many of my mistakes at this point that all I want to do is play paintball again and work on it.
What's the biggest mistake you made in Vegas?
Oh God, multiple. I mean, in finals.
Yeah, in the finals, biggest one.
So in finals, the biggest one I think I made
That
is
first
I
point.
had an opportunity to do yes. So, but that's not my biggest.
Okay.
That's not my biggest
Okay.
because I mean either way we won, right? So none of them are that big. But
That's right.
my
Alex
biggest,
is always like, maybe if you didn't get shot, we wouldn't have won, or like maybe if you didn't get that penalty, we wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
yeah. But my
Yeah.
biggest mistake was I want to say it was the third or fourth point that essentially the same exact thing happened that happened the Revo match. A-Rod sent it, and I had the chance to follow him up like I did in the Revo match. I followed him up in Revo, won the 3-on-1, and we won, right? This was the point where I think it was, I want to say 5-2, or it might have even been 4-0 or whatever against the Russians. But A-Rod makes the same exact move, and he just beelines it down the Dorito side, ends up getting shot. But my dumbass, and I look at it, and I'm just sitting there, pretty much watching A-Rod do his shit. I'm like, okay, well, he bunkered the brick. Is he gone? Didn't end up trading with him, so Kirill's still there. Kirill ends up coming out on tape and shoots me, and then they still have Smotrov and Snake. We lose the point. Instead, all I had to do was do the exact same move I'd already done, follow up A-Rod, and if you watch it, Kirill would have never seen me move up. He came out like I was still in the Dorito one. I could have gone all the way up like I knew, shot him, then it would have been a 2-on-1 with Smotrov, only in Snake. We cleaned that out, and then we would have been up, I think, 6-2 at that
Yeah.
point. But instead, I think it ended up being 5-3 because we ended up losing the point, and so that was huge in my opinion. That would have been just even more momentum going in our way. We lost a point, and it ended up going our way after that. But I think that was the bigger mistake of mine in that, because that would have been again another huge momentum shift in a match in the middle of a finals match playing the Russians, and I didn't make the move.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I've watched every single match so many times. I have a notepad of like point breaks down of like things I've missed and what I want to work on when I go back out to drill.
Yeah, let's talk
Good for
about
you.
that. What do you look at when you're watching film? When you're watching teams, are you more interested in watching yourself and your mistakes, or other teams and figuring out their tendencies?
It depends on what I'm trying to do. I do both. If I'm looking to do self critiquing, then I'm gonna watch myself. And or a lot of the time for myself, if I'm going out to drill, it's something that I specifically remember from the event that I screwed up on, or a shot that I missed, or something that I didn't do that now I'm gonna go do it. Like I remember it was our elevation season, and Dalton was playing. Dalton was on Impact at the time we were playing them, and I remember I'm posted on the Dorito tape, and I know he's gonna come get me because I'm the last one. So I wrap and I look inside because I know he's gonna make the inside move because I'm already out on tape. And he goes to bunker me, runs the inside move, runs the highway. I take one shot and I miss, and his first shot hit me while he's running cross body on the outside of the Dorito. He was able to hit me with his first shot, and I missed. And I was like, well, damn. So for me, I didn't practice me doing the wrap shot and getting bunkered and me pulling that. I practiced his shot. I practiced that over 100 times, just doing that inside move and putting that very first ball on the outside to shoot that, because that was huge. If I traded with him, it might be different.
Yeah.
But instead, he was able to shoot me, stay alive, and make that progression. I'm like, damn. Like I didn't shoot him, he just shot me. That was clean. Like I need to be able to do that. So I went and I put, so a pole was sticking out just a smidge, like the corner of a hopper, and I just went and ran highway over and over and over again. And so for me, every single time I do that, every single time I drill on one specific thing, if I play the next day or we have practice or I go to the event, I find myself doing that exact same shot, no matter what, and it working. So it's always the proof is in the pudding, right? It's whatever you put into it, you're gonna get out of it.
Absolutely, dude. Wise words, man. Absolutely. You get what you give. That's all it's all about, man. Got to clock in.
Yep.
I love it, dude.
100%. So Corey, what's next? Because one thing that you kind of have done, you've traveled down to Mexico for paintball,
Mhm.
but you haven't really gone international, and that's like some of the biggest fruits of our labor. And
Yeah.
you're a player that a lot of teams could benefit from having. Are you? Do you have goals to try to travel internationally? What do you do?
So
What
much
do you
so.
do for work? Because you also have a full-time job outside of paintball. So
Yeah, yeah. So I'll go over my work first. So it's kind of a boring job. I work at a placement agency for traveling physicians. Anything from like a sterilization tech making $10 an hour up to surgeons. So we place them at facilities, and as you can imagine, with COVID, it's gotten a little bit crazy. We're all working from home now, obviously, but it pays the bills. It gets me playing paintball,
Yep.
which is a plus. I actually got lucky. I switched out of customer support, and a week before COVID happened, and they got absolutely ravaged by everybody calling in and freaking
Yeah.
out, stuff like that. So that was kind of lucky. I'm switching over and doing the transition right before all the craziness
Yeah.
happened. But yeah.
For sure, dude. Yeah, it's been wild.
Yeah. What did you ask me before, other than where I worked though? What did you ask me before that?
about traveling internationally for paintball,
Oh
and if you
yes,
plan on
I
doing it.
hope so, man. So I last season I played all but one MXLs or so. I'm hopefully gonna get out there for next season. I'm playing with the Mexico City Titans. I only
There
played
you go.
one. I've played one European event so far. I played Basildon with that Cryptonomics team that
Oh,
Yeah.
Russia.
okay. All right. Okay.
Hopefully I get back out there. I would love to. I honestly, now that like I'm in it, my goal was to, how we kind of talked earlier, like goals, dreams, next levels. Like my goal is to make pro. Now I want an event. I want to travel. I want to experience like true
Yes.
Yeah.
pro paintball. Like I
Yeah.
want to go to Asia. I want to go to Europe. I want to do as much as I can
Hell
with
yeah.
what I have, and also on top of that, I'm starting to do clinics and
There
coaching.
we go.
Like I said, I'm coming out to Arizona on Sunday, the 27th, to coach a team out there. So I'm trying to get that going. Obviously, Cup's coming up and then off season, but getting what we can scheduled out for the rest of the year and then get stuff started for next season. But
I
it's
love
just
it.
kind of keep building, man. I'm excited to be where I'm at now and to have the opportunities that I have and
Yeah.
see what we
And
can do with it.
and how old are you right now?
Oh God, I don't want to tell the paintball world that because nobody
Uh-oh.
thinks
Oh,
I'm old
come
as I
on,
am.
Corey. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm 30.
That's right. Okay, cool.
30.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, you're still a young buck, man. I'm 31. Marcelo's 30. We feel like we just started in the game and we've been in it. What's the matter, Marcelo? You know what it is. We're getting up
Yo,
there, baby.
we're there. Damn it.
Yeah. The only thing,
uh,
you guys are 30, 31 and been in it for like 20 years.
yeah,
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 I'm year
for a
three.
minute.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Hey, dude, but it's a strong 3. You're doing good.
yeah, it's a strong three to already have a win
Yeah.
and like start building your brand in
Yeah.
paintball. Like you have your stock rose because again, you played so good in Vegas, man. I'm super proud of you. And
Yep.
it'd be great if
Absolutely.
like you did better on the golf course against me, but you're not quite there yet. It's okay, I get that.
I'm gonna make you do another PTG once we play again, just so
That's right.
I
That's
can
right.
boast.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Nah,
Yep.
man,
Because
but
Marshy's been attacking it, dude. He's going after it.
He's
I
after it.
have.
He's
Yeah.
after it the way I was when quarantine first started. I've taken a step back now. I need to get back out there.
It's
Yeah.
again, dude. I just have an obsessive personality about stuff, and I pick and choose what I want to
Yeah.
obsess over. Like, if there's
Yeah.
something that I know will be good for me, like I feel like getting good at golf is probably good for you. It trains the mind. It takes discipline. It's blood
Patience.
sport. Same patience. It's the same thing with
Yeah.
paintball. These are paintball. I chose to be my lifelong obsession, and it kept me out of riffraff. It kept me out of all sorts of other garbage, partying on the weekends with my friends. And I mean, dude, I got into some bad stuff when I was younger. Truly, like I get it. I might come off as a much different way, but goddamn, I did some bad stuff. I really did, and you
Yeah.
know, I really did. I did some bad stuff as a
I
kid
don't doubt it. I don't
and
doubt it.
paintball was always like the North Star, and I just always find stuff like that, and golf has kind of been one recently, especially during quarantine. I just love that to obsess over something that is
Mhm.
good for you. And so
Yeah.
so now that we have
Yeah.
paintball back and World Cup's going, it's a new obsession again. It's
Yep.
amazing. We'll be out at Victory Paintball Park practicing as much as possible. I'm so stoked that they're open. Huge shout out to Victory Paintball.
Yep.
best field in Southern California. Fran does such a good job of keeping that place totally dialed in. And the turf is amazing. The field's amazing. The community there is great. So
Yeah.
I'm
You can't say enough about it. I think that you look at the field at what it is now and how many people are out there and how many teams are out there.
yeah.
Yeah, they've done such a great job
Yes.
on bringing that. Like what it is now is almost what I expected, kind of what I said earlier when I
Yeah,
first moved here.
right.
For there to be so many players and teams and it like they're just a solid rotation going. And now that's what it is, because now it's people that actually care about the field. They care about the player and they care about the experience, and it shows.
He's building
That's
that
it,
culture again for Southern California of like the mecca of paintball, which is amazing. So all the support in the world for Fran and Victory for sure. And Nikki too, you know, and they're two paintball. Nikki is Fran's wife, but they're two paintball players that have, you know, just they love the game and they want to see tournament paintball be back in Southern California. It used to be the mecca. This was the spot. So.
Yeah, they've done so much there.
So what's next for you, Corey? We're at about 3 hours now, so we got to wind this down. This has been a great one. You're just amazing, dude. I love it, dude. You're one of my good friends now. It's funny. You know, you look up to me so much that you wanted to use the number 33, and I appreciate that. But let's talk about like what
I'm still gonna fight you for it.
What's next for you, man? What do you got going on? What's the next event in scopes? Is there anything before Cup?
Oh man, no, just Cup. I'm gonna be out in Arizona doing the coaching. Hope to actually have the team coming out to California for another coaching session, doing some solo drill sessions with some guys that have reached out to me. So if anybody's interested in that, definitely feel free to reach out. Honestly, something for me, like I do it for work, is like training. I'm very passionate about it. I like it, and for me, it's not something that I had coming up. I didn't have a pro player. I didn't have somebody, you know, with the skill or the thought process or the IQ that all of, you know, the players have now. And it's something that I feel that I can give back, and I enjoy it. And it's that feeling that like you have a conversation with somebody, right? You walk out and you see them do something and you go up and you're like, hey, do you mind if like I you know, I help you out a little bit, and you tell them something and then you watch them go out the next point and do it. And it works, or you know, you see that you see it click, you see that light bulb hit, and then you see it just progress, and it's awesome, you know. And I kind of told you, like, I saw Brandon Unger pretty much come from like D3, and now he you know, he's crushing it in pro and making a name for himself, and it's awesome to be able to see that in somebody even younger, to where they first started or something. You see that fire lit under them, you see that urge, that want, you know, and it's you see a little bit of yourself in them, and you want to see them progress. And if I can help anybody get to the league or progress and get to where they want faster, then I'm all about it. Because for me, my journey was way too long. I wish I would have been in the league sooner, like I said, but I can't complain. The journey's gotten me to where I am today. But if I can help out in any way and get somebody there faster, then I'm about it, man.
It's very fulfilling when you see that the fruits of your labor be put into action, and you see them dominate a game, and you're like, hey, I kind of, you know, I helped out there a little bit. It makes you feel really good. So where can our listeners find you? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere that you want people to find you at?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So Facebook, I mean, it's just Corey Hall. Instagram's easy. Last name Hall _, or no, it's Hall of Cray. Hall of Cray. There you go. I'm giving you my email. Hall of Cray is my Instagram. I'm glad you know. You stalked me a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Hall of Cray's Instagram. Email is Hall _ Corey, first name Corey 9410 at yahoo.com. If you guys want to reach out for anything, let me know.
Totally, dude. And love that. Yeah, hit him up.
How much do you love Transfuse?
Yeah, dude, I can't get over Transfuse. I literally just reached out to him. I was like, I need another box, man. I'm crushing through this. I love it. I'm literally, every person I golf with loves it now because I bring it out.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, what do you drink? And I'm like, Transfuse, try it out. They're like, this is so good. I'm like, here you go. Yep.
It tastes good. It tastes so good, and it's so good for you.
It's so good. Literally, I start every day with it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So do we.
Yeah.
Corey, man, we love you, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for your time. We want to have you back on again. It's awesome to see a young and upcoming player like yourself succeed and do well and lose to me on the golf course. But in the near future, I'll give you a chance at redemption.
Yes.
No, man, we love you. Thank you so much, Corey.
Appreciate you guys, man.
To someone who just kind of worked their way up through the ranks the right way, the long way, the hard way, and it's paid off for you. So,
yeah, brother.
Soon, man. Hopefully we see you at Cup.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for everything you do, brother. Peace.
Of course, man.
All right, bro.
Later, bro.
My goodness, everybody. That was such a great show as usual. We love our guests. We're so thankful for them. They are truly what makes the show go around. We hope you guys liked it. Corey Hall's an amazing guy. Follow him on Instagram. Keep up with him. If you guys would like, you could head over to ptgpaintball.com and support the show. We have all of our audio and video on there. We also have a bunch of merchandise. And if you want to be a supporter, you can become a Patreon. We have that on there as well. Thank you guys so much. Our website's brought to you by Rusty Glaze at Constant Pursuit. He does web design for much of the paintball community. He's amazing, fantastic, does a really good job. So if you're a young entrepreneur and you want to get a website to make your company more business friendly or professional looking, Rusty is your guy. Check him out. But with that said, everybody, thank you guys again so much for tuning in. We love you guys. We can't thank you enough. And we will see you soon. We're going to have plenty more guests coming your way. All right. Peace.